Batteries fully charged. Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment Discussion is live. Cue host Owen Finch.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to WWE Aftershock, week 28. We made it to 28 weeks, Chris. How does that feel? Isn't that great?
It's shocking.
Yeah.
To say the least. Like I've said in the past, we would do this stuff pre-recorded, and we didn't go by weeks. We just did it every day when we were at Massasoit.
Yeah.
And we would go fucking days without recording.
Yep.
And we do one video probably every 3 months.
Yeah.
And then we give up and not do it for 7 months. And now here we are.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I'm happy that we're actually doing this. This week I thought was going to be tough because I had to get ready for the wrestling rundown because that's coming back tonight. And then, you know, I had to get ready for, other things. Of course, I got logged out of Xfinity, so I couldn't watch SmackDown. So that's why we're doing this later. I didn't have time to watch Level Up because of that. All right, hold on. That's gonna throw me off. That's throwing me off, as you can tell. So.
Oh, I know. I
don't know how he forgot this time, but
we're pre-record anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but anyhow, yeah. So I didn't think we'd make it to this week. This week was a tough week. Also, my sleep schedule was off the past couple of nights because we've had storms here, as you know, and it's been waking me up every night. So there you go.
And I've been on vacation, so it's not like I could do anything.
Yeah. So, like, I thought this was going to be, a solo thing. But we're here. You can only cover one show. Because you said you only watched SmackDown this week?
Yeah, I only watched SmackDown. I watched very briefly a little bit of Raw.
Okay.
Kind of got back, but MLB Home Run Derby was on. And I wanted to watch that, and then Tuesday we had a late dinner at like 7:00.
Yeah,
at a hibachi place in Maine. So it was like by the time I got back, it was like 9 something. So it was like 9:30.
Yeah. And so
Wednesday, I didn't watch any of it because we went to the arcade up there in Maine. So
yeah, that's fair. But there's nothing. You don't watch main event anyway, so it didn't miss anything. So
I didn't. I usually don't like to skip like any like wrestling, but
yeah,
I didn't really have a choice this week. I was planning it out too. I was like, okay, like I'll try to watch some of it here. Like on Wednesday, I was like, okay, like we have like an earlier dinner, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and watch it. And I just forgot to watch AEW. I forgot,
it's one of those things that happens sometimes. Because when I went on my vacation back in May, I had the same plan. Like, I was able to watch Raw before I left. I was able to watch NXT and then main event. And then I had this plan, like I was gonna watch every show, like like before I went to bed every night and all that type of stuff. But then what happened is, as you see, as you can tell from my photos and stuff. My aunt has like twins who are like 4 years old and all that type of stuff, and they keep you busy all day. Like you get so tired, and then they go to bed, and then they would go to bed at like 11:30. I'd be so tired at night, like I couldn't even stay up to watch it, type of thing.
I was that same way. Like my 2 little cousins were up there with us, and they'd be in my room. Like me and my parents shared a room, and there's 2 beds in there, and I was on my bed, and they come in. And my cousin wanted to play Switch like every day. So I was like, okay, we'll play Switch. So we play Switch in the morning, play Switch at night, like before she went to bed. And it's like I didn't really have enough time to watch like any wrestling this week. I watched very little bit of Raw, probably like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so of Raw. Didn't watch any of NXT, didn't watch any of AEW, but I did get to watch SmackDown, so because that's when we came home earlier in the day.
I know in hindsight, I probably shouldn't even have you come on this week. Like, you can't really put butts to the table, but you can't. Well, you know, you're already here now, so you can't just leave.
I chose to be here.
Yeah, I don't know why you're here in hindsight. But
I need to talk to someone. I'm going insane.
Yeah. But yeah, so the only show I couldn't watch was Level Up this week, just because we're on a time crunch. James is producing the show, and he's got to do WIW recording today. And I said 10:30. I pushed it back to as long as I can. I slept in today, and then I couldn't watch SmackDown because my sister was here, so I was hanging out with her. And then I got logged out of my Xfinity, like I said. Well, it's my mom's Xfinity. I have like a password, and for some reason, I usually leave it open on my window type of thing too. Yeah. And, you know, so I don't get signed out of it. But sometimes, you know, technology's like, oh, I'm going to sign you out anyway. So
fucking happens to me all the time when I try to use like the USA app or the TBS app. It literally every day it logs me out.
Yeah.
And every day I have to log back in. It's so annoying. And
what's a pain in the ass is you can't just sign in. Like it sends her like a code on her phone type of thing, and I have to get the code. But I'm writing the right password, the right email, and everything, and it's still not letting me get back in. Luckily, this is what the good thing. I have a Fire Stick, so I was able to watch. That's how I was able to watch SmackDown. I don't know why I didn't think of that until last minute type of thing. I think because I was hoping I'd be able to get signed back in, but I wasn't able to watch like any of the AEW shows this week because of that. So that sucks. I have to basically look up what happened. For the rundown and basically and everything like that.
That sucks. So that's
frustrating. Yeah. But yeah, so luckily it happened and it sucks it happens for SmackDown because at least if it happens for Raw, you have the USA app. There's no way to watch fucking SmackDown live. You know, and after it happened,
there's a Fox app.
Oh, there is a Fox app.
Yeah, there is. I have it.
I'll have to do that next. I don't think I could sign into it because I can't get into the Xfinity.
You could go through the App Store.
Oh, okay. But yeah, anyhow, let's just start watching. Let's just start reviewing the shows. Again, I don't know what you could say about the shows. You're just gonna have to just be like, yeah, it sounds good.
Once you get to a point that I watched, I'll put some input in. But I don't think I saw a little bit of it, so I can.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're doing here. Like it's just like you're just gonna be like, hey, yeah, you will talk. So basically, I'm a point of reference whether it was good or not. Like I could just lie my ass off and say this was awesome, the best thing they've ever seen in my life, and then you could just be like, yep, okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Or the opposite, it could have actually been good, and it just shit all over, and you're like, oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible, type of thing. So. But let's just start talking. Yeah, we had Raw. We had July. It took place on July. I almost said July 7th, but it was July 10th, 2023. That one you could have called BS on because you could just look up the date. So
yes.
But I will say about Raw. I think you heard me talk about it in the chat. We haven't heard it otherwise. This is just my opinion. I think it was mainly a Vince show just because there was no wrestling really on the show. There was a lot of talking on the show. And as you know, you can definitely tell a Vince show from a Triple H show because of that. Because a Triple H show, I mean, I'm not saying there's not any talking and anything like that, but there's more. It's very focused on the wrestling. This was definitely more of a Vince show, I think, because there was a lot of talking on Raw this week.
Vince forever has always focused on the E instead of the W.
Yeah, so you could definitely tell. I think you could definitely tell this was definitely a Vince show. The only other reason I could see that there was a lot of talking, we could just talk about it now. It was reported that Becky Lynch had an injury like earlier in the day.
Something very minor.
Yeah, but they didn't even advertise the match at all between her and Zoe Stark.
I think it was a cyst. I think is what they're classifying it as.
But they weren't even like sure if the Zoe Stark and Becky Lynch match was going to be able to happen. So maybe they wrote the show as if the match couldn't happen, and then they, they found out last minute she was able to medically be cleared. So it is what it is. I still enjoyed Raw for the most part, but I also worked all day. I just was not in the mood to hear all this talking. I wanted to see some wrestling
action. You want to see people legally beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah. Well, except Dom, it's illegal for him to be doing that, so he can. I mean, so he doesn't anyways. But let's just start talking about Raw. We have the commentary team of Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. I thought they did pretty well on commentary. Kevin Patrick, we should say, was a trooper. He is very nice. Jackie Redmond's flight got canceled, and she wasn't going to be able to make it to Raw. I think it was in Buffalo, New York. So Kevin Patrick was a very nice guy, and he actually drove her, and spent to the arena. So he's such a nice guy. Like, honestly, that's a class act right there, and that was just such a nice thing for him to do. I'm really proud of him. Like, he could have just because think about it, Raw wouldn't have even had Byron Saxton would have had to put his working boots on all night. He would have had to do all the interviews. I mean, he kind of did anyways.
Poor fucking Byron.
Yeah, he doesn't get treated very well this week. We'll talk about that though. But very good boy that Kevin Patrick was this week. He was that. I'll give him a gold star right there. He gets a gold star. Think about it too. If they traveled to the Tokyo Dome, he would have gotten 7 gold stars.
Yeah.
For
10.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just start talking about it. Finn Balor comes out to cut a promo, and before he can really say anything, he kind of they show footage of what happened, of why he's so mad at Damian Priest and what's been going on with Judgment Day. And Finn Balor calls out Damian Priest. He wants to settle this situation that's going on between him, because he talks about how Damian Priest cost him the World Heavyweight Championship. And Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio come out. They talk about how they shouldn't talk about this in public. They should talk about this privately. And Finn Balor says, that he's pissed that Damian Priest has cost him the championship, and he wants to be settled now. And Rhea Ripley says, these people don't deserve to see this play out, pretty much, and says that we'll just talk about this in the back. We'll talk about it privately. And basically Finn Balor agrees, and he just walks to the back angrily. And then, Rhea Ripley then gets on the mic and talks about how this is why Judgment Day, even though there's all this stuff going on, Judgment Day still rules Monday Night Raw, regardless of what you fans think. And Dominic Mysterio goes to talk, but he gets booed out of the building, so Rhea Ripley has to talk for him and says that Dom's going to destroy Seth Rollins tonight. Seth Rollins comes out. Huh?
What a funny joke.
He's eating buffalo wings because they're in Buffalo. That was probably bad luck, but we'll talk about why that's the case in a second. And he says that he's going to whoop Dominic Mysterio tonight before Rhea Ripley has the opportunity to, and says that whatever comes his way next, he will retain his title and all that type of stuff. I thought the segment was pretty solid. I kind of liked the seeds they planted with the breakup of the Judgment Day, and I liked the Seth and Dominic Mysterio pout. Did you see this at all or no?
No.
Okay.
It sounds good though.
Yeah.
I like the teasing of the breaking up of the Judgment Day is really interesting. That's been going on for a little while. Rhea saying everything's fine when it's not. And that little piece of shit pissant son of the legend, Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, the little fucking scumbag. Good. I don't want him to talk ever again.
Yeah.
Rip his tongue out while you're at it. And I like Seth Rollins. I saw that picture of Seth eating buffalo wings coming out to the ring, and I died laughing because that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. I didn't even know what they were at first. Then I realized, that he's having buffalo wings. They're in Buffalo. I'm calling an audible here. We're gonna play a fun game. I'm gonna tell you. There's gonna be some segments I'm gonna tell you the truth on. There's gonna be some segments I tell you the lie on, and you have to decide whether or not I'm telling the truth. And here's the kicker. You have to base.
I'm just gonna look up everything online now.
Oh shit! This is why we can't play games, Chris, because you fucking cheat. Never mind. You just ruined everything.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So I was gonna do the whole thing like when you were gonna have to like decide whether or not it was true, when you would have to base your raw grade around around that. But now you just have to go and ruin everything, though. You just have to do
I'm
that.
a good ruiner.
So yeah, that's mean. So then Damian Priest is backstage. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio come up to him, and they basically Rhea Ripley wants Damian Priest to talk it out with Finn Balor, kind of work out their issues. Damian Priest says that, he doesn't really feel the need to explain himself anymore, but he said that for Rhea Ripley, he will hash this out. And that was basically it. What'd you think of it? I don't think, did you see this?
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Then we had
more of dissension in the ranks of the Judgment Day.
And then we had a tag match. It was Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel with Walter ringside. This was a pretty good tag match here. I liked it. The heels dominated Matt Riddle for a while. They beat the absolute crap out of him. And then Drew McIntyre got the hot tag. He absolutely obliterated Fabian Aichner. He hit him with a really cool powerbomb, and then he hit the Claymore kick on him for the win. Afterwards, Marcel Bartel and Walter leave Fabian Aichner stranded as if they're teasing a split within Imperium. Because Shawn Michaels, I think, is booking the main roster. He's trying to break up every tag team now on the main roster now. But I don't think that I think this is going to be a red herring. I don't think they actually are going to split Imperium up. I hear that there's actually no plans to do that. They're just they're just doing this, I think, just for shits and giggles, I guess. I don't know why they're doing it, but they are. But overall, I enjoyed this. I thought they built up Drew McIntyre very well for a potential challenger for Walter's Intercontinental Championship, and I thought the tag match was decent. And you got Matt Riddle wasn't high. He actually looked like, well, at least in this match, anyways, he looked silver. We'll talk about what happens later. And then I got to see Matt Riddle get beaten up. So everything that I want to happen on what happened here. So I don't know. As I say, I can't even say what you think of this. Did you see this? And if
I
so,
did.
What you think
I saw this.
Okay.
Again, I probably saw a grand total of 30 minutes, like spliced in between. But yeah, this man, I really like this. Like, Drew looks strong as a motherfucker right now, as he should be. And I could definitely see him winning that title within the next month or so.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
I agree with you on the fact that Imperium's not breaking up. That's just like something that WWE has always done, and they'll tease dissension for a couple weeks and then they'll forget about it.
Yeah, I kind of hope that I hope that's the case this time, anyways. But yeah, if you wanted to say like that's a Vince, I could definitely see that being a Vince correction too. Because if you remember, he didn't even call up Fabian Aichner originally to be an Imperium when he was fully writing the show. So I hope that's not what's going on here. But we'll see. And yeah, that's basically it. And then we had Judgment Day backstage. Finn Balor and Damian Priest are going over their issues. Damian Priest tells Finn Balor that he had no intention of costing him the World Heavyweight Championship. He was just down there as an insurance policy, and said that, Finn Balor just got, basically too anxious about that. And Finn Balor says that basically they agree that he's going to be the first one to challenge Seth for the belt. And they do tease a dissension, though, when Damian Priest says that, go beat Seth. I think you can beat him. But whatever happens after that, and he holds up his briefcase like as if he's going to cash in on whoever wins that match. So I liked this. Again, Judgment Day actually got back together. They didn't really do anything more dissension-wise, but I like that it continues tease of what's going on. What'd you think of this if you saw it?
I liked it. I did see this, too, also. They... Again, he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He can cash in on whoever he wants. And if it's Finn Balor, so be it. It's basically what he's saying. Like,
yeah,
he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He can cash in on whoever the fuck he wants to cash in on.
Yes, he can. Then we had an interview. It's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They get interviewed. I thought Jackie Redmond was going to ask them about the Bloodline because they just recapped the Bloodline.
Fucking again.
Yeah. But let me just talk about this because I think I talked about this. they need to stop recapping the blood. I get they do really great ratings wise and stuff, but I'm sick of seeing it every week on Raw. That SmackDown storyline. Keep that shit on SmackDown. Like, at least they're not having them show up, but
Yeah.
You have to see this recapped on because then they recap it on SmackDown again anyways. It's like I'm sick of seeing this recap. Stop recapping it. We don't need to do this.
It's like it would be like in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
It's like it happened on your fucking show.
Yeah.
You don't need to recap it the following week and then recap it on Raw.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 fucking times already.
I know. And then probably
again.
I bet
it's great. We get it. Enough.
I bet you're triply pissed too because he only had a limited window to watch Raw. You had to spend it watching the Bloodline recap again. Like
I get when they do it once. Like if it happens on SmackDown and if it's big like that, and then they recap it on Raw, it doesn't bother me. But like then to recap it again on SmackDown didn't even make any sense.
Yeah. I think I'm sick of them recapping it on Raw, though, because then they just mention, this week on Smack. What are you recapping it on Raw for? Nothing's happening on Raw. They can't. It's a SmackDown storyline.
Like, if they're going to do it, like, do it during a commercial break.
Yeah.
Like, do it how they, do it like a quick little thing that happened, like they normally do to hype up SmackDown. Yeah. Like, on a commercial break. Like, do that. I'm okay with that. But not like in the middle of the show go, hey, in case if you didn't see this for the second time, here you go.
Yeah. Picture like on an episode of like, Yellow Jackets or like, any other TV show, Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, the middle of the episode, they just decide, we're just going to recap what happened last week for no reason. We're going to, as they do that shit at the beginning of the show, previously on this, the Vince method, because this is a Vince call, it's like, previously on SmackDown, in the middle of the show. If Vince were on a TV show, he would show the TV show. He would have the new episode there first, and then he would be like, and then all of a sudden there'd be like previously on whatever show I'm watching. He would do it like the middle of the episode, out of nowhere type of thing. It's like, what the hell happened? I feel like he'd do it like in the middle of a scene too, like while a scene's going on, like.
Here it is. Here's the recap. Middle of a match. Here's the recap.
He's done that before, believe it or not, by the way, too.
Not even picture in picture. Not even, hey, we'll be right back from this commercial break. Just throw it right in there. And they come right back and it's the pin.
Yeah. I'm sick of the recaps though, but Jackie Redmond learned from past mistakes and didn't ask Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn about the bloodline. No need to get Kevin Owens' temper. I was waiting for it though. Like, are they going to ask them about the bloodline? Because all this stuff's been going down, but they just kind of asked what's next for them, for opponents for the tag team titles. They talk about how they have all these opponents that they're going to face, and then Dominic Mysterio. I almost said Damian Priest. I don't. That's super. I don't know what the hell. I almost said Damian Priest. What the hell is that?
Damian Priest.
That should be the tag team now. Damian Priest. I didn't even get the Dominic in there. I got the Damian. It's Damian. He's Damian Priest now, I guess.
I'll Damian all the time.
Yeah. But Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley come up. They talk about how they should be worried about the tag titles because with Dirty Dom and Damian Priest and Judgment Day back on the same page, their heads are on a swivel pretty much. And they talk about they're going to go destroy Seth Rollins. And I think Rhea Ripley gave like a reason why, he was called Dirty Dom. And then Sami Zayn's like, I think there's a different reason he's called Dirty Dom. And Kevin Owens didn't get it. And Sami Zayn had to whisper the reason to him, like, obviously that it's a rape joke and all that type of stuff. And Kevin Owens is like, wow, I can't believe that. I like Kevin Owens didn't have much of a reaction to it. He wasn't surprised or anything like that. He was just cool with it, type of thing. So this is why Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are awesome. They act like real people. They're stars. Any era they're in, they're just great. I love them.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. What do you think of this segment?
Hilarity at its finest. I love how he had to fucking tell Kevin what it was because he didn't get it.
Yeah. I thought it'd be the other way around. It would be Kevin having to tell Sammy that, but it's the other way around. Kevin Owens also was wearing a Halloween Havoc 1997 T-shirt. I don't know why he was, but he just was. So, but I'm not gonna tell Kevin Owens what to do. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. So, and good on Kevin Owens, by the way. He's keeping his tempo under control at the moment.
Good for him.
I don't know what the secret is recently, but he's doing a good job. So, good boy.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. And then we had Bad Thing. Indus had like a vignette. I was like, oh my gosh. I thought we forgot about him because we haven't seen him in 2 weeks. But then all of a sudden they just showed back up again. And they had like this weird vignette where like it's as if there's like a stormy night going on and all that type of stuff. Which I guess which in Mass there was a storm going on. So, that's okay, I guess. But then they talk about how they're going to like release pain and all that type of stuff into WWE and make people fall beneath them and all that type of stuff. It's like, this isn't good. I don't like Indus. This is terrible. What'd you think of this?
Horrific.
It's not good.
Like, it's just not good. It's just none of it's been good, like, ever.
You just see this vignette at all? Like,
I refused.
I don't blame you. I bet your cousin came in and you're like, oh, let's play Switch, and then the Indus thing came on. You're like, oh yeah, let's play Switch. Come on, let's play. When the Indus came on, that switch went right into the dock type of thing. So
it was done.
Yeah. Then we had we were supposed to have Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley ringside versus Seth Rollins. The match never happens. Judgment Day beat the crap out of Seth Rollins. They completely blindside him. They're trying to weaken him so that way Damian Priest, I think, can cash in Money in the Bank. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn make the save and beat them up and send the Judgment Day packing. I thought this was all right. This set up a 6-man for later in the night. I would have preferred they did this segment like after the promo segment instead of putting it somewhere else. Like, I don't think you needed 3 segments to set up the main event. I think you could have just done this in 2. Like, I would have put this earlier in the show and just had this happen earlier. I don't really think it made much sense to do this. But that's just how I would have booked it. What did you think of this?
Yeah, it just seems odd.
Yeah,
to throw it in there, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. And then we had a face-to-face segment with Logan Paul and Ricochet. And Ricochet comes out. He talks about how much of a dream it was to perform in the WWE, and he always wants to perform his best. He always wants to give the fans big moments and everything like that. But he talked about how if he has a problem with somebody, he tells them to their face, unlike Logan Paul, who went on his podcast and basically hid behind a computer screen and did it. And then Logan Paul comes out. He talks about how big of a star he is and talks about how Ricochet wasn't even thought of. He was just all flash. He doesn't actually make the trend moments. He's the one that made Ricochet trend. And he says that, when he trends, it actually means something. But Ricochet does all these flashy moves. Nobody talks about it. And Ricochet says that he's done hearing the talk and he wants Logan Paul to come into this ring and face him in a match. But Logan Paul accepts. He says that Ricochet's beneath him. And he says that when he actually does something impressive, he'll consider having a match with him. And Ricochet recreates the thing he did in NXT where he flips over the top rope and he lands on his feet right in front of Logan Paul. And Logan Paul has this look on his face as if he's impressed by it. And I liked this. I thought Ricochet, this is probably the best promo he's ever cut since he's joined the main roster. I thought everything that he said was cool. I liked Logan Paul here. Logan Paul just knows how to be a heel because he's a douche. And I'm looking forward to a program between Ricochet and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. So I'm into this. What'd you think of this if you saw it?
I loved it. I saw this. It was great. I love that fucking spot that Ricochet does. Fucking flips over the top rope, lands on his feet. It's such like a fucking fuck you type of move. I love it. And
then I enjoyed this. And then I imagine the match is going to get made official somehow. I don't know how, but it's going to get made official. I didn't even mention this too. He doesn't just do the flip. Afterwards too, Logan Paul tries to do the right hand to Ricochet, but he's able to fight him off and escape type of thing too. I liked this. I imagine that Logan Paul is probably going to win at SummerSlam. He probably needs to win at SummerSlam because he hasn't had a big win in a while since The Miz. And if you're going to keep putting this guy back, you need to, like, he's going to be a star no matter what. But if he keeps coming back and losing, I don't think it's going to have any meaning when he has a match. So I think if Ricochet has a strong enough showing, he wouldn't get hurt because he's going to get taught. Because the fact he's going to wrestle Logan Paul is already victory enough of itself. He just has to have a good showing is the thing. He can't be like Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown a few years ago where he got squashed in like not even 2 minutes type of thing. So what do you think of that take right there? Do you think Logan Paul should win, or do you think Ricochet should win?
It really I think Logan Paul needs to win more, but I wouldn't be upset if Ricochet won either.
Yeah.
Both of them could really could use a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Logan definitely is going to come out the victor in that one.
You say this now, and all of a sudden, like, I feel like, too, like, Logan Paul's going to win, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? You got to throw a water bottle across the room. You're just going to, like, freaking lose your mind. Everything's going to be on the floor. You're just going to, like, I'm going to be at your house at SummerSlam. I'm going to be so scared. You're just going to be like, get out of here. I'm so pissed now. You're, like, not even going to talk to anybody.
I'll be fucking silent the rest of the show, sulking.
Has that ever happened before when you watch a wrestling show? Oh, probably Battleground 2017, right? That's probably when you were sulking. Not for good, not even because anything, because it was so bad. You're probably less like, the fuck is this show? You're probably just like,
I was just like, what the fuck is this? Why the fuck is this on my TV? This sucks. I'm never watching it again.
I like how you say you're never gonna talk about it again, and then I keep bringing it up, like,
yeah, because you want to torture me. That's why. Torturous.
Speaking of torture, we had that match. It was Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark that we talked about earlier with Trish Stratus ringside. I was kind of shocked because, like, the match just happened. I'm like, oh, the match actually is happening. And, like, again, I think Becky got cleared probably later in the day. I don't think it was during the show, but she was cleared to go. And she lost, unfortunately. They did the whole thing where she tried to fight off both heels, but it wasn't enough. Eventually, Zoe Stark cheated to win. I get what they're doing here because they obviously, want to have Becky Lynch have to overcome all the obstacles, but this just was not the right result here. This was fucking awful. There was no reason for Zoe Stark to win this match. They need to wrap up the storyline, and I feel like Zoe Stark winning doesn't wrap up the storyline any faster. And I would have been okay with it had they brought up the fact that Becky Lynch was injured going into the match, but that was never even brought up. So it's like, this Trish storyline, I shouldn't say it gets worse every week because at least this week she didn't cut a promo. That's good. But yeah, I was just not into this. There was no reason for Becky Lynch to lose here. It was fucking awful. What do you think?
Just downright terrible. There's no reason for them to feud anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just dragging Becky down. And that's the last fucking thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Is to drag Becky down in an absolutely stupid, useless, pointless feud. Why the fuck is this still going on? Zoe Starks is horrible. Trish, I've said that countless times. I fucking can't say it enough. She is a fucking downright terrible heel. She is awful as a heel. But they fucking won't change her back because they're too fucking lazy to do so. They're trying to make it work, and they're trying to force her down our fucking throats like they do with every heel that's not working. And guess what? It sucks. What a fucking surprise. It sucks.
Yeah, it's been terrible. And I feel like it's not ending anytime soon. I keep thinking SummerSlam, but since they did this finish, I feel like it's gonna keep going on post SummerSlam type of thing. Unless they do a stipulation where, like, Becky has Lita in a corner, but I feel like that wouldn't end it. That would set up a tag match probably for a future show. It's like, just end the storyline, please. Like, especially too because I don't think anyone wants to see Lita wrestle anymore. She can do the tag stuff, but
It's just not entertaining anymore.
Yeah.
It's past the point of entertaining.
Trish Stratus' stock's gone down like hard too, by the way, because this year one's been so bad. Isn't it funny, by the way? I keep talking about this. Logan Paul, who's only been, you think about it, the dude hasn't really even been in the business a year, and he knows how to. He's more entertaining of a heel than Trish Stratus has been recently.
Exactly.
What's going on here? What's happening?
Just horrendous.
Then we had Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins backstage. Seth Rollins wants to come up with strategy with Kevin Owens and Sami about the main event. And Kevin Owens says that there isn't going to be a strategy. They're just going to go out there and just basically break everybody's bones, and they all get pumped up and loving it and all that type of stuff. And it was great. I loved it. Kevin Owens was awesome. Seth Rollins was awesome, and Sami Zayn was awesome. I thought everybody was awesome here. What do you think of this?
Absolutely beautiful. Magic.
They are magic.
It was great.
Then we had the graduation ceremony of Maxine Dupree. She's graduating from the Alpha Academy. Chad Gable comes out. He talks about how this is how great of an honor this is and everything like that. And they bring out Maxine Dupree. She's dressed in a graduation gown. You can definitely tell she designed this herself because it was very fast. It was more of a fashionable graduation gown than you would typically see. And she does this good speech talking about how basically they started how originally she only wanted Otis just to be a model and all that type of stuff. But then she found out that Chad Gable is a great teacher and a great friend. So he just got friend-zoned forever right there.
Oh, fuck.
Huh?
What a great friend.
Yeah. So then Chad Gable presents her with the Alpha Academy jacket, the varsity jacket. That's what I was trying to think of. And he puts it on Otis first because, Otis has one already. Maxine Dupree looked very pleased that Otis was wearing this. I'm starting to think Maxine Dupree wants Otis more than just to be a model now. I think the storyline has changed. I don't think it's always been this way, but I think the storyline has definitely changed. She wants Otis now.
Oh, yeah.
And she's not, and she ain't hiding it.
Big beefcake.
Yeah. It's just a boyfriend in real life. That boyfriend better watch out. Otis is going to steal her fast. So, not, and I mean, steal get into a relationship with her, not steal like kidnapper type of thing.
Oh, yeah. Fucking kidnapper.
So then, I don't think she ever put the jacket on because then, unfortunately, the Viking Raiders music hits. They come out, and Valhalla hits a blow to the back of the neck of Maxine Dupree and steals the jacket. And that was it. I will say I did like this segment up until the Viking Raiders came out. This should have happened. There's really no reason to continue the storyline. I think that they are having a street fight, like a Viking street fight next week. I forget what like a Viking Wolves match was essentially a street fight, but there was no reason to continue this. If any team should have interrupted this, it should have been Maximum Male Models. That would have made a whole lot more sense. I feel like it was kind of time for them to bring them back into a storyline with them. But it is what it is. The match will roll next week, so it's kind of whatever. But there was just really no reason to continue the Viking Raiders feud. What main Vikings they are, too? What interrupted a graduation ceremony? You see anybody else doing that? Did I interrupt James's college graduation? I was going to ask, did you guys interrupt my graduation? But I really didn't have a graduation for college. So, that didn't happen. But mean Vikings, just mean. This is so cool. Why would you interrupt this? But what did you think of this?
I thought the segment was great until they stole the jacket.
Yeah.
It was just really awkward after that because they just kind of stood there and no one was saying anything. The commentators weren't speaking, and they just held the jacket up in the air.
Yep.
And what's next? It just felt like so out of place.
Yep.
Word.
Yeah, but the Vikings Wolves match or whatever it is will be awesome next week. I should say, not Wolves because that's weird.
Well, Viking rules match.
Yeah. Then we had a squash. It was Shayna Baszler versus Emma. Earlier in the day, it shows like a little video where Shayna Baszler is playing with cards. And Emma comes up and, talked about how appreciative she is of what Shayna Baszler's doing to Ronda Rousey. And, she says that, she could help, but Shayna Baszler says that you can help because I'm gonna use you to make an example. And she flips the card. She has Emma pick a card, and she picks the Queen card. And as you know, Chris, this isn't a Yellow Jackets reference, obviously, because it's the Queen of Spades. But if you watch Yellow Jackets, if you get the Queen card, you don't want to get that fucking card. You're screwed if you get that card. So
make a meal
huh?
Then make a meal out of you.
And that's kind of what happens to Emma here. Shayna Baszler completely squashes her. I personally enjoyed this. I enjoy Shayna Baszler just kicking people's ass, but the crowd could have cared less about this. They didn't care about this at all. And I don't blame them, honestly. Then this was bad because this was definitely a Vince change right here. Ronda Rousey comes out. They have a fight. Ronda's about to put Shayna in the armbar, and Shayna rolls out. Shayna was a heel this week. And I think we talked about this. I think you said she's always been the heel. I don't think so. I think she was definitely going to be the babyface in this feud. I think Vince changed it. I think Vince changed it this week just because it's. I feel like if Triple H was fully booking the show, it would have stayed that way because you're not going to convince me otherwise. Shayna was definitely the babyface. Since this is airing Monday, 2 weeks ago. But I think Vince changed the storyline, and he wanted Shayna to be the heel and Ronda to be the babyface because that's the only reason I can come up with this change. And if this is a Vince call, that's a wrong call. That just shows Vince doesn't listen to the audience because nobody likes Ronda Rousey, and everything that Shayna Baszler said was true. This is just terrible. Why did Vince do this? If he did, and if it wasn't Vince, why did they make this change? Because they had the storyline right up until last week. What the hell are they doing?
Everything is wrong. It's just not. Shayna was clear as day the face last week. Listen to the crowd reaction. That's all you have to do to determine who the fuck the babyface is in this feud. Look at the crowd reaction last week.
Yeah.
That will tell you who the fuck should have been the babyface. And instead, they went back to the same boring, bland, generic Vince trope, which is, she's been the heel. Now let's turn someone let's turn someone who the crowd doesn't like to begin with into a face.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a terrible, terrible choice.
Yeah, this is definitely
for the babyface.
And I don't want to be
lousy.
I don't want to be one of those people that say this is Vince, but this is definitely a Vince move. Right? You're not going to convince me otherwise. This was definitely a Vince change.
Oh, it's 100% was him because he likes Ronda.
Yeah,
and doesn't really like Shayna apparently. It's really obvious he doesn't.
Yeah, this is awful.
He's booked her over the years.
Yeah, and then Cody Rhodes delivers a special message to Brock Lesnar. It's very special, I guess. That was the name of the segment. He comes out. He's still massively over. He's awesome because Cody's a star. Everybody knows that. And he talks about how everybody has a Brock Lesnar in their life when they go into any type of competition. Not even competition. He talks about jobs, too. Everybody has a Brock Lesnar. So, Chris, I guess you have a Brock Lesnar in your life, I guess. So,
apparently, I do.
I guess I have a Brock Lesnar also. So, that's not good. I don't think you want a Brock Lesnar. That's a scary man right there. So,
it's a beast.
I wonder if, since you have a Brock Lesnar in your life, does that mean, that person just turns into Brock Lesnar, magically?
I hope not.
He's just Brock Lesnar. We don't wait any more Brock Lesnar's kicking it. I wonder if it's different iterations of Brock Lesnar. Like someone will be a 2002 Brock Lesnar, somebody will be a 2014 Brock Lesnar. Someone would be the football version of Brock Lesnar. That'd be awesome. But he talks about how he basically challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam, and He realizes that Brock's not there, so he's gonna wait to hear his response next week. But I like this promo here by Cody. I thought it was awesome.
I liked it too, except for the fact that they kind of advertised it as Cody saying that he was going to announce the stipulation, and then they skirted around it.
Yeah, they'll probably do that next week, but we'll see. I don't know what
announce the stipulation and fucking let us be hyped for it.
Yeah. Maybe they don't know yet though, because I think they were gonna do dog collar match, but Brock denied that, and then they're thinking Texas bull rope or like a street fight or falls count anywhere. I hope it's bull rope, but it's like one of those bull rope matches where you have to win by pinfall or submission, not touch the corners, because
fuck yeah, touch those corners, baby. Get that hand and slap that fucking corner.
Yeah, we'll see. Then we had the best match. Well, the second best match of the whole show was a no disqualification match. It was Tommaso Ciampa versus The Miz. This match was awesome. Ciampa kicked the crap out of The Miz basically the whole match. He destroyed him. He had a back suplex through the top part of the table, not the table, but like the head of it. He threw him into a chair. They just absolutely destroyed each other. They used a trash can lid. I don't remember the last time I've seen like a trash can lid get used in the WWE. I think it's been a while. I know they've used trash cans, but I don't think they've used a lid of the trash can for a while. Obviously, I've seen it since then in other companies, but I don't think WWE specifically has done it in a while. Eventually, though, Ciampa has the match won with the fairy tale ending onto a stack of chairs. But Bronson Reed comes out. He attacks Tommaso Ciampa. He hits the tsunami onto him, and it allows Miz to get the win. And Miz beats Ciampa. I like this here. A lot of people are probably going to crap on this finish because they brought Ciampa back and he already has lost. But I am going to be okay with this if this leads to the DIY reunion, because I don't see why they would do this finish if DIY is not reunion. I could see DIY with Foreman and taking down Bronson Reed and The Miz. And you need a reason for DIY to reform. If they can't just reform just for the hell of it, I think this kind of gives reason for that.
You need to reunite for the hell of it.
Yeah, nah. But I think this gives all the reason in the world for DIY to reform, to take down The Miz and Bronson Reed. But what did you think of this?
I liked it. It was really good. Yeah, it was just a really good match, and I like Bronson Reed's inclusion into it. Kind of made sense. It made sense.
Yeah, very much so. Again, if it doesn't lead to the DIY reunion, though, then I'm not going to understand why they did this finish. But I think it is, though, because I don't. This wouldn't make sense. So this probably means we're not getting KO and Sammy versus DIY for the tag titles. But I think they're gonna. I think we are gonna get that match. They're just gonna push it off. I think maybe till Survivor Series now or something. I'm not sure. Or maybe we'll get DIY versus Judgment Day, because maybe Judgment Day could win the tag titles. So we'll see. Then we had Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan backstage. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville come up to him. They talk about how they're going to win the women's tag team titles from them. And then Rhea Ripley comes up and basically said that they have 2 strikes against them for getting involved in their business. And they say that if they do that again, then she's going to run out of patience. And Raquel basically challenges her. I liked Raquel here, but I thought Liv got kind of annoying doing this. And Chelsea Green then mentions that when we win the tag titles, we're going to take over the division. And Rhea Ripley says, "Who is this we talk?" And Sonya's like, I think she meant like, Sonya and I type of thing. I don't think she meant like us. And Rhea's like, "You better have." And she walks away. And then that was a segment right there. But I liked this. I kind of like that it's setting up the Rhea Ripley Raquel Rodriguez feud. And I'm pretty into that. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. Definitely like the fact that it's setting up the Rhea and Raquel feud. It makes too much sense.
Yeah. Then we had Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Liv Morgan and Raquel were watching the match ringside. They didn't do commentary or anything. They were just watching. It's okay. They don't have to talk to Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick. They don't have to. A lot of people think that they have to, but they don't have to talk to them, okay? They don't need to. So I don't know why they won't though, but they don't have to. But this match was kind of whatever. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville won. I'm pretty sure Caden Carter and Katana Chance bought something. I don't remember what they bought, but I'm pretty sure they bought something because there's always they always have a botch in the match somewhere. And I just forget, you just don't remember where it is because they botch every match. They always do a botch every match. But
there's so much botching between them. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but it is what it is. This match was alright, I guess. But what do you think?
If they're going to be the next challengers, fuck me. So I don't want them to be.
Yeah, we'll see. Then Drew McIntyre.
And if they are going to be the challengers, I want it to be a squash match between. I want them to get squashed.
I don't blame you. Then we had Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle backstage. They talk about how happy they are that they took down Imperium. Byron Saxton was interviewing him here, and Drew McIntyre said that he's not going to be at Raw next week. He's doing some promotional work. In real life, he's filming a movie, and he has to take time away from that. I wish he could have just said that because it's the kayfabe reason that the game's not good. You have to do promotional work while Raw's on, while your job's on. Why don't you just say you're doing a movie, buddy? Doesn't make any sense.
That's promotional work.
Yeah, I have to do promotional work doing the show that I'm on. There.
Yes.
What is he promoted? Watch Raw right now.
Promotional work.
Yeah, but then Matt Riddle says, "Oh, that's okay. I can just take on." I asked for the match with Walter. I almost screwed up there, if you noticed.
Ooh.
And he says that he got the rest of Imperium banned from Wednesday. I noticed I struggled there too. I just said the rest of Imperium too. So so that qualifies both names technically, but that doesn't mean
they're both now named Imperium.
But that's not me saying the names that they are now. That just qualifies that we both know that they're the same person type of thing. That I'm talking about this person and stuff. So that doesn't count. They're now known as Imperium. They are Imperium now. So what? I have to call them Imperium every time I talk about them?
Imperium is facing in a singles match. Imperium.
What's going to happen if they face off one-on-one?
Imperium versus Imperium. and Imperium will win.
Yeah.
If it's a triple threat, it's Imperium versus Imperium versus Imperium, and Imperium might win.
I know, but then they're gonna go out drinking. I don't think it's a good idea for Matt Riddle to be drinking with the stuff he's been doing lately. But
that's probably the worst fucking thing they could have come up with.
Yeah, and then Byron Saxton's about to join them, and Drew McIntyre shows them back and says, "Not you," and then just leaves. Poor Byron. He just wanted to go party with the wrestlers, and he got shut down. Poor Byron, man. I felt so bad for him. Poor guy.
There's probably gonna be a lot of hot chicks there too.
Huh?
Probably gonna be a lot of hot chicks. He can finally get out of his parents' house.
I know, but he does
absolutely cucked.
Yeah, it's okay though. I did feel bad for Byron, but I think he does have a job to do. He can't just be going off partying, doing his job. He does have things to do. So because he still had to do interviews for Raw backs, not Raw backs, it was for Raw Talk and things like that. So I understand why he couldn't go out and party, but he just poor Byron, man. These wrestlers don't want to hang out with him. He's just all alone. Poor guy. But what do you think of this segment and the poor Byron type of thing?
I thought the segment was good. It sucks that Drew's not going to be there next week just because he came back, had the huge comeback. But good for him though. Getting his feet in there in Hollywood. I like that.
No, he's doing promotional work. He's not getting his feet in Hollywood.
I forgot filming a doing quote unquote promotional work.
Yeah.
Good for him though. More presence in Hollywood from WWE. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Byron, man. Just an absolute cuck job. I love how Drew wasn't even on camera. It was just his fucking hand that just kind of pushed him out of the way.
It was such a sitcom thing. It was such that was something you would have saw in a sitcom too. The person that no one wants to party with tries to go out and he's just not you. That was solely a sitcom thing.
That's hilarious.
Poor Byron. It was
Cucked
funny
at the
that,
altar again.
huh?
Cucked at the altar once again.
Yeah, poor Byron. It's okay though. He'll have his day. He'll have his day. He'll have his day someday. I get it. Just wasn't that day. So
Poor guy.
I didn't watch Level Up this week. I wonder if this meant his mood on Level Up was even worse. You know, he's been in a bad mood when he does commentary for Level Up. I wonder if it's even worse because he didn't get to go out and party the night before. I think Drew was just looking out for him though because he realized he's got work to do. He didn't want he didn't want him hating out with Matt Riddle. Like he didn't want to have him to taking care of him. Like if anything, I would have had Byron join. Maybe like Drew didn't want to take care of both people because Matt Riddle, he can't control his drinking and whatever he puts into his body. And I feel like Byron, he would still like Byron's not in a position to like take care of people. I think he's still kind of he's still young. You know, I say that he's like probably the same age as Drew, but he still acts like a young man. Like Drew McIntyre, I think is a veteran. He doesn't want to have to look at he doesn't want to have to look after all these people. You know what I mean? So. I understand what Drew was thinking there. I think he realizes he has enough to worry about with going out drinking with Matt Riddle. So,
what a good man.
Yeah, poor Drew though. He's got to go out drinking with Matt Riddle. I kind of feel bad for him. Like, not even just drinking. They're probably doing other stuff. They're probably doing like. Well, I don't think Drew is, but like Matt Riddle's probably doing like some. Matt Riddle's doing drugs. I'm not even gonna pretend otherwise. He's doing drugs. So
yeah.
And you shouldn't be doing that stuff. He just went to rehab back in, what was it, December or November? I forget. I don't think he knows.
Yeah,
so he went? I thought it was December. Because Sammy was still in the bloodline, so it would have been December. And yeah, he's just out there like, he's already ruined, he couldn't even go, he can't even go 2 weeks without having a drink or an ounce of drug inside of him. I think I counted it was 2 weeks. Dude can't go 2 weeks. What's going on, dude? You're in your 40s. Come on, dude. You're in your actually, is he 40 yet, or is he like late 30s type of thing?
It's like mid 30s, 36, I think, something like that. 37.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Still, I still don't excuse that though. If he can't.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the main event. Not the show that's coming in a bit. So, main event, the last match of Raw. It was Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day. I like this main event a lot. I thought it was very good. Very actiony, very all over the place. It was a bit botchy at the end. A bit sloppy, which apparently I don't know what happened. There was reports the next day that there was a fight backstage because of that, but then we found not like a fight like at all out type of thing, but it was like an argument type of thing. But then we found out
it fizzled up really quickly.
Yeah, but I don't think then they said it wasn't actually an argument. They were just angry about it. No one was really arguing with each other. They were just yelling. If I had to guess, I think what happened is they probably were just pissed about it, and they just want to put on the best product possible, so they were just frustrated. Yeah. I don't think anybody really argued with anyone.
No, they just got a little botchy at the end, and then it just kind of turned into more of like a pissed off type of thing, and then they got over it.
Yeah, because I remember these reports. James is sleeping right now, so he can't chime in. These reports made it seem like a big argument happened. Like they not fists were thrown, but they were just like yelling at each other type of thing.
I was like, what the fuck? And then you actually read the article, and it's like, okay, so they care.
Yeah.
They care if the matches are fucking a botch fest. So they don't want that to happen. They want to put on a good show. And they're pissed, and they're rightfully so.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't anything.
It's not because they're pissed because they're mad. They're pissed because they care.
Yeah. Which I think that's what happens with anyone when they do anything they care about and all that type of stuff. So
exactly.
I mean, we've been pissed before when things didn't work out the way we wanted them to. So
yeah, it's just
and we get over it.
They care too. They care a lot about the product.
We lost an episode of some of the rundowns and stuff because of that, and we got over it pretty quickly. So, but
you won't ever see that because it's been deleted already.
Yeah, it was on. I don't have that computer anymore, so there's no way. There's no way you're gonna see that ever again. So,
at least that computer.
Huh?
That computer is very toxic, to say the least.
Yeah, that's what caused the toxic Aftershock corner. So, but the finish comes though when Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on Sammy and gets the win. Damian Priest and Finn Balor were able to work together here. Judgment Day reformed. They were all good. I thought this made sense. I liked it. You know, it kind of keeps Judgment Day together, type of thing. That I think this needed to happen too, because it wouldn't have made sense if they still had at least any like problems in the Judgment Day and all that type of stuff. Because they were also going to be in NXT. That wouldn't have really made sense if they like had problems. Like I feel like they needed to be united going in NXT. So I like this main event a lot. I didn't mind Sammy and KO losing because they've been on like a winning streak lately. It was also like a chaotic finish, and I think Rhea Ripley did interfere in the match, so they were protected that way. And yeah, I enjoyed this. What did you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. I like the main event a lot. It was yeah. They did a Judgment Day to go into NXT.
Yeah, I liked this. I'm gonna get as for Raw, I'm gonna start Raw at a solid B minus. I'm gonna up it to a B because this is the second week in the world we stuck to the brand split, so that's good. No one from SmackDown showed up on Raw and type of thing. The only thing they did that didn't stick to the brand split, obviously, was show the video package of the Bloodline stuff, but no one actually showed up. I will allow that because no one actually showed up on the show. So, but then it goes back down to a B minus because Matt Riddle was he was so close too. Matt Riddle was clearly on type of some alcohol or drugs on Raw this week. So that, you know, we don't need to see that. And I can't even up the letter grade anymore because Matt Riddle did get the shit kicked out of him, but it wasn't enough to up a letter grade because he's still.
Right. I'll be right back in a second.
Okay, but yeah, I will give Raw a B minus. When Chris comes back, he can give his letter grade. And yeah, I'll just cover main events. So since Chris isn't here, main event took place. It aired on July 12th, 2023. We had the commentary team of Byron Saxton and Kevin Patrick. I thought they were pretty good together on commentary. We had Xia Li versus Natalya. Oh, yeah, welcome back. I'm covering main events. This match was whatever. Natalya just won with the sharpshooter. Kind of whatever. Then we had Indy Hartwell versus Dana Brooke. Indy Hartwell won with victory rule. And that was that. Not a good start for the main roster with Indy Hartwell. She's on main event already, and she lost in 2 minutes in a gauntlet match. Main event was average. I'll give that like a C minus. Really nothing you need to see there. So, what would your letter grade for Raw? By the way, I know you can't. You have to kind of you can't give a full on letter grade because you didn't see the whole show. So
I'll give it a B.
Okay.
It was good. It was a good show.
There you go. So I have to cover NXT. You're just gonna have to go yup because you didn't see NXT this week.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, you just have to kind of take my word for it here. Can't play that game because you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna look it up online.
Yep.
So can't do that.
Yeah.
We had the commentary team of Booker T and Vic Joseph. They weren't good. But Vic was fine, obviously, but Booker just was no good. He was terrible.
It's the same every week. It's like Vic is really good, and then Booker's awful.
Yeah, and I don't think the commentary team's changing anytime soon. So
no, because they're obsessed to put a Booker T in commentary for some reason.
Yeah.
He spends the entire time just ordering DoorDash.
Yeah. Well, like I don't think it happened this week, but there's weeks where Vic would ask Booker a question and he tiptoes around it so much he never answers the question. Like Vic has to ask him the question like a second time.
Well, he'll just grunt.
Yeah. Or he'll go like, and then yeah.
I laugh because it's like I know Booker's trying his hardest. But
I know.
Good.
And it's no one's fault. Like it's not like he's being micromanaged either. This is all him that's sucking, by the way, too. Like he's struggling. He is struggling on commentary, and it hasn't. I feel like it hasn't gotten any better. In those weeks, it's worse. Like
it hasn't gotten any better since what 2016.
Yeah, that's bad. Because at least when he does the panel, He's not good there either, but at least it's funny. It's like meme
Yeah.
worthy type of thing. But like,
Some commentary is actually really funny though.
Yeah, so it is what it is, I guess.
I love when he grunts for no reason.
I know. I don't get it too because he's a good talker and everything too, but he just cannot do commentary or panel work or anything like that. Like I don't get it. Like, it's bad. It's not good. But yeah, let's get to the Judgment Day. Come out to do a promo. They talk about how this is the first time that Judgment Day in full has been in NXT. They kind of did their own catchphrases like when they were in NXT, like Finn Balor talking about the Prince and all that type of stuff, and Damian Priest mentioned the Altar of Infamy and all that type of stuff, which he hasn't mentioned, I think, since he's been in NXT, I would say. So
I think since he turned.
Yeah, so
on the main roster, because he was using the Archer of Infamy gimmick in before he joined Judgment Day.
Yeah. Then Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams come out. Carmelo Hayes talks about how NXT is his house now. This is, he's the standing bearer of NXT. This is where you make a name for yourself. And you have to go through me to do so. Finn Balor laughs at him because he talks about how he built, NXT, so Carmelo Hayes could swim pretty much. Basically, this leads to a tag match getting made. It's going to be Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams later in the show. So I like this segment. I thought it was good stuff, and I thought it hyped up the main event really well. I can't ask your thoughts about it because you didn't see it. But how does that sound to you? Does that sound good or bad?
Yeah, it sounds like a really good promo. It really sets up a nice match as the main event.
And then Tony D gets interviewed, and this was weird. It was filmed earlier in the day. This was clearly like a Skype call or something. He went like into a private room wherever his jail is, and he just had like a FaceTime call with Mackenzie Mitchell. They were asking like about Stack's chances tonight in his match with Joe Coffey, and he talks about how he's not happy with Stacks, that he went behind his back and made a deal with Joe Coffey, and then he talks about how he has faith in Joe Coffey, but they tease like dissension here between Tony D and Stacks. But yeah, I didn't really care for this. It was just not really all that interesting. What did you think of this? Well, you didn't see it, but how does it sound to you?
It's interesting. I just don't get why he's pissed off about potentially getting out of jail. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like he's pissed off that Stacks made a deal to get him out of prison.
Wait till you hear what happens in the match with Stacks, though. That's even wilder. Then we had a Gigi Dolan promo, and she talks about how Kiana James hates her for being the way she is, that she's a rebel and all this type of stuff, but she talks about how she brought on like a darker side now, potentially, of Kiana James. And she shows all this stuff where Kiana James used to be like a rebel. She's doing things like spray painting the walls at the PC, it looks like. And it's all this stuff like as if she was a rebel, like what she was like before she became this gimmick that she is now, where she's a businesswoman and all that type of stuff. And it's really funny because I think this stuff's actually like on her Instagram page. Like it's like of her doing all this stuff. And Kiana James is watching this backstage. And she's all upset. She's like, I thought I had those photos deleted. She's trying to call her PR and all that type of stuff and have those photos deleted. This segment was truly awful. It wasn't good at all. It was terrible. Gigi's promo was really bad. And it's not her fault. She just wasn't given good material. So how's that sound to you?
Not very good because Kiana James sucks.
Yeah.
She's horrific.
Then we had a tag match. It was Chase U versus Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. Very enjoyable tag match. I really liked it. Chase U won. They won with their like flatliner, like DDT tag finish. I think that made sense because it was Andre Chase's first match back since being since returning from NXT, and it gets Chase U over. The only reason I would have been okay with with Stacks losing the match if it meant Chase U got a tag title match, because I think they should be the ones challenging for the NXT tag titles next. But that doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I enjoyed this tag match. How's this sound to you?
Good, because I love Chase U.
Yeah, and you like Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey too. You like them, so
Maybe
they did a bit on the outside too, where Thea Hale put Drew Gulak in the Kimura lock, which is cool. So
I saw that. I saw that picture. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then Braun Breaker's backstage. Him and Ilya Dragunov are gonna have a number one contenders match for where the winner's gonna face Carmelo Hayes for the belt at the Great American Bash. Braun Breaker talks about how, how he's been the standard bearer of NXT. He's dominated this brand, and he talks about how he's been impressed with the Ilya Dragunov, but he's not going to become number one contender at his expense. And he said that he's going to take the NXT championship and, basically take it to different heights that he never has taken it before. So this is a decent promo here by Braun. How's that sound to you?
Decent.
Yeah. Then we had Von Wagner and Mr. Stone. They were having a nice little conversation earlier. That looked like this was filmed in the PC like earlier in the day. And Von Wagner talked about how he hasn't been feeling right lately because ever since he's told that story, all he's thought about was the kids that made fun of him for all of the issues that he's had. And that's why he's been taking it out on the wrestlers. And the one person that's been able to keep him level-headed is Mr. Stone. And he teases as if he's going to be like, and there's one person that's been a pain in my ass, and that's you, Mr. Stone. But he actually shakes his hand and he thanks him for being a pain in the ass. And I like this. I like this continued progression of Von Wagner here. I'm really enjoying it. What do you think of this?
Great progression. Because we love Von Wagner. He's great.
We didn't say that a month ago, so there you go.
He's got the sympathy now.
Huh?
He's got the sympathy angle going.
Yeah. I still think they need to do that
because genuinely what he went through is shitty.
Yeah. I still think they should do that storyline we pitched where like Mr. Stone gets like a new client or something. And
it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you want to have Mr. Stone go heel, have him get another big dude.
Yeah. Not Ron Batundo though, not that guy. Have him do Dijak, that'd be awesome.
That makes sense too.
I mean, is his name even Bubba Batundo? I don't even remember what it is anymore. It's Dabakato. I almost called him his other name, Commander Aziz.
He's gonna get Commander Aziz.
It'd be funny if it became Commander Aziz again for no reason. Like,
just no point. Just hey,
he's Commander Aziz again.
I was for like a half a second, and people forgot about me.
He should just be every one of his gimmicks that he's done before. Baba Tunde. He should be the Raw Underground version of Dabakato. And then he should be Commando Aziz. So
remember when I returned to NXT? It was the most obvious heel turn in the history of NXT.
Probably was.
Most obvious and most like terribly done heel turn ever in NXT history.
So bad. Then we had a bad match. It was Cora Jade versus Kalani Jordan with Dana Brooke inside. Just not good. It was essentially like every other match you've ever seen in your life where the rookie gets all this offense in, but then Cora Jade just wins anyways, and it's just kind of whatever. Afterwards, she went to take out Kalani Jordan with the kendo stick, and then she ducked it, and then she tried to take out Dana Brooke, and Dana Brooke ducked it, and she went to hit, and she grabbed the kendo stick, but not the kendo stick, but whatever that weapon is that Cora Jade.
I think it is a kendo stick.
Yeah, I don't know what. I feel like some weeks it's a pipe, some weeks it's a kendo stick though.
They can't make up their fucking mind what it is.
Yeah, and then Cora Jade escapes, and I realized this is why no one at NXT gets over. Because Kalani Jordan debuted not even a week ago, and she already has a loss now. And they booked this match like way too early. What they booked this match for? Like there was no reason to book this match. It didn't even make sense. It was terrible. How's this sound to you?
I will say this, and I've said this a million times. Cora Jade is a horrendous heel.
Mm-hmm.
But see, Shawn Michaels from taking too many fucking bumps to blows to the head doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So he keeps force feeding him and his stupid writers keep force feeding the same fucking generic bullshit week in and week out with her. It hasn't worked since day one. So why the fuck is she still a heel?
Yeah, I don't get it.
The perfect time was when no one gave a rat's ass about Dana Brooke and was booing Dana Brooke, and they were cheering Cora Jade to do the double turn in that moment. But he fucking refused. Call the audible, you fucking idiot.
I know.
Just
I mean, Triple
dumb.
H.
I can't rant on everybody. It's fucking stupid.
I mean, Triple H did when no one liked Baron Corbin's gimmick anymore. He changed it. He got rid of it.
She is so fucking stale. It's not even funny. She went from being, I'll call it a promising heel against Roxanne, to now she is a bland, boring, fucking heel that makes no sense.
Yeah.
She can't buy a win to save her life half the time.
She won
more than half the time. 99.9% of the time. She gets into feuds with people and loses all the time. So what the fuck is the point?
I don't get it.
She needs to make the turn, and now. She should have made the fucking turn 3 months ago.
Yeah, but she came back after being injured or whatever. So then we had Ilya Dragunov backstage, and he said that no matter what pain Braun Breaker puts him through tonight, he's going to overcome that, and he's going to use it to become the #1 contender for the championship that he's always wanted, and that's the NXT championship. And this makes sense because I think there's always been an NXT championship since he got into wrestling, so it actually makes sense. I mean, I guess it doesn't make complete sense because I think he's like in his freaking 40s or whatever, like his late 30s. The NXT brand's only like over 10 years old, so I guess when he was young, he just knew NXT was going to be a thing randomly one day. So he's like, "Oh, I want to be I want to be an NXT champion, whatever. If they ever make a brand that's called NXT, I guess. I guess when he was like, it's like Liv Morgan when she said, "When I was young, I always dreamed of being the SmackDown Women's Champion, but there was no SmackDown Women's Championship at all." So
much of being a fanatic, you can't even remember when the fuck they had a championship there.
I know.
That killed me. I was like, wait a minute. I was watching it 2002. There was no SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And there was no, it just never existed.
Yeah. I don't get it. What are these people doing? Like, I always wanted to be the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought that didn't exist in 2002.
I leaned over the barricade. I told Michael Cole in 2002 when I was attending SmackDown that one day I was going to be the SmackDown Women's Champion.
I wonder what Michael Cole was thinking when she said that. Like, there's no SmackDown.
It doesn't exist. Sorry, kid, it doesn't exist.
He's probably laughing too. Like, what the hell is that?
Sure.
Like,
you can go create that with your own action figures.
It's like
you can make that in a with your action figures. You know, you could put a SmackDown Women's Championship out there.
Yeah. She probably said too, like in the video games too. I used to create the championship. I'm like, wait, you couldn't even create championships in the video games. Like,
you really couldn't in the last like 15 years or something like that.
Yeah. So what
you
are you
couldn't do it in any of the older games.
Yeah.
I think it was like 06, I think.
Yeah. Like if Roxanne Perez went on and said, I always wanted to be the SmackDown Women's Champion. Well, I guess that wouldn't make sense either because there was no SmackDown Women's title when she was watching either. So, yeah, I don't know. Because the SmackDown Women's Championship was only like around like in 2016 to like now. So it's like, what do these people talk about when they say I wanted to be the SmackDown Women's Champion?
Even if they said the Divas Championship, it wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah. Well, with
Roxanne, it made sense because she's like 21 years old.
Yeah.
So like, maybe that makes sense because the Divas title came around in like what 2008.
Yeah, and she was probably like, she's younger than I am, so she's
younger than my.
But Ilya Dragunov saying he always wanted to be the NXT champion. Like the NXT brand wasn't even around when you were watching wrestling. What are you talking about, dude? Like
she'll be 22 in November.
Yeah,
Roxanne. So it makes sense if she wanted to be the Divas champion.
Yeah, but Ilya Dragunov wanted to be saying he always wanted to be the NXT champion. ever since he was young. That doesn't make sense because the NXT brand's not even. There was no NXT when you were watching it. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
He always wanted to be it. He always wanted to be a championship he always wanted to be a champion that never existed.
Yep. Then we had Eddie Thorpe and Gable Stevenson backstage. This was filmed after NXT Underground. Eddie Thorpe talked about how impressive of a win that is and said that he would never do that again because it was hell. And Gable Stevenson said that he's going to go train for the Olympics, but he doesn't know what his path is for wrestling. So we'll see.
I know what his path is. Teaming up with his fucking brother to make him relevant.
They're not doing that now, though. So what do you think? How does this segment sound to you? Does it sound good or bad?
It seems a good segment.
Then there's NXT Underground talk. I think a lot of people are just watching it, though they were like really impressed about NXT Underground, and then
they need to keep it at that because I don't want them to oversaturate it.
Yeah, and then I think a segment happened. I think this is when like Dijak came up and said that he wasn't impressed with Eddie Thorpe. So it looks like Eddie Thorpe's going to be feuding with Dijak next. I'm okay with that. That would be an awesome feud right there. So, what do you think of that? Well,
it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Then we had an NXT Championship #1 contenders match. It was Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov. This was awesome. I've always wanted to see them have a match with each other since Dragunov came there. When Braun was champion going into Halloween Havoc because they were building to that match. But we finally got it here, and they threw all the big hits at each other, and it was just a really hard-hitting match. Dragunov actually won clean with the Torpedo Moscow. I couldn't believe it. I didn't necessarily think he'd lose, but I didn't think he would get a clean win. I thought they'd do like a double count out or disqualification and do the match later on at the Great American Bash. And because this happened, I think Braun Breaker is definitely going to the main roster soon. There's no way he's not now because and he's probably going there like fast too. Like probably not before the Great American Bash, but SummerSlam time I think will be on the main roster. But I'm okay with this. This gave Dragunov a big win. And him versus Carmelo Hayes for the belts could be a banger. I think that could be an awesome title match right there. He deserves it too after the killer matches he's been putting on recently. So, how's this sound to you? Does this sound terrible? Does this sound awesome? Or is this just like kind of like whatever? I don't care.
Sounds great. I like that. So they turn Braun Breaker heel and he just loses all the time.
Yeah, remember it was the opposite. He was a face who won all the.
And every time it's like, oh, I think this is when he's gonna get called up. Oh, I think this is when he's gonna get called up. Oh, I think this is when he's gonna get called up. I think it's been 3 times now that we thought he's gonna get called up, and it hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, he has. I think now he has to get called up, right? Because like, there's nothing left for him to do. This Dragunov feud was like it in NXT. Like that was like the last thing he had to do. So there's there's really nobody he can feud with in NXT anymore. Like,
really isn't.
Yeah. So we'll see. Then we had Wes Lee get interviewed, and he talks about he's looking forward to his North American title defense against Mustafa Ali. Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley come up, and Dominic Mysterio says that he accepts his open challenge. And Wes Lee talks about how he hasn't done an open challenge in like months because it gets so chaotic. You can't really accept a challenge that hasn't been opened yet. Dominic Mysterio's like, oh, I get it. You're afraid what Dirty Dom's going to do to you when he gets into that ring with you after everything that, I've done to my father and everything like that, and to Cody Rhodes and everything like that. And Wes Lee says, no, I'm actually not afraid. If you want to do the open challenge, we can go do it tonight. Then Dom's like, right when Wes Lee's open to doing the open challenge, like, whoa, I'm not actually prepared for the open challenge. I need like a week to prepare.
Pussy.
And I can understand that though. You can't just immediately expect a title match. Like I don't think he might not have even brought his wrestling gear with him. He said, I need a week to prepare. So next week we'll have a match for the North American Championship. So there you go. That's gonna happen next week. Wes Lee versus Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship. How does this segment sound to you?
I love the fact that they have in the match, but as expected, Puss Dom didn't want to do it in that moment.
Well, to be fair, like he said, he wasn't properly
Oh
warmed
yeah,
up.
the fucking excuses in the world for that motherfucker. The pussy.
We'll see.
He threw out the shower jug. No, I don't want to do it right now. How about now or never?
He didn't necessarily say right then. He just said he wanted to fight for the belt. He didn't say he wanted to fight tonight.
We're gonna fight tonight, or you're not getting your chance, and I'm gonna fight someone else instead.
Is that what you would have said to him if you were champion? Like,
yeah, right now, pussy, or we're not fighting.
That would have been fun. They should do. They should have that happen someday to somebody. Like, I feel like we have seen that happen before, but I would like it to like, not obviously say it the way you said it, but like, okay, we're gonna fight tonight, or we're not fighting it ever. Like,
I don't care how many times you attack me from behind or cause me to get a disqualification. It's either right now or it's never ever happening.
And it just never happens too. Like it should, like the person just be like, then I guess it's never happened. Then it's not happening, and then the babyface should just, and then the babyface should like just ignore this person. Like this person should keep like.
They walk down like the hallway and they just stare straight ahead. As like Dom's trying to look at him, he's just walking straight ahead.
And then Wesley just never gives him a North American title match.
Ever.
And then what should happen is Dom should win the belt, then Wesley should be like, okay, now I want a match for the belt. Dom's like, oh, I'm sorry, not tonight. Nah, not at all. And Wesley's just like, no, I want it tonight, right now. I'm not gonna be like you who backed out. I want it tonight because I know you're never gonna give it to me. Like, that'd be awesome if somebody did that. It's like, it's tonight or it's not happening at all.
It's tonight or it's never happening.
Imagine, I feel like the perfect person that could do that is like Cody. Like when Paul Heyman comes up, he said, my client Roman Reigns is gonna have his rematch clause at the pay-per-view. And Cody's like, nope, it's tonight or it's not happening at all. Like
it's tonight or it's never happening.
And Paul Heyman's like, well, my client's not here tonight. And Cody should just be
fucking
like,
bad. You're gonna take his place then. If you want the match so bad, do you take his place?
That'd be hilarious. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Nope, it's tonight or it's not happening at all. Like, it'd be great. Speaking of great, Baron Corbin changing gimmicks. He talked about how he left his past behind him, and now he doesn't know what his future is going to look like. And he drives to like this abandoned area that has like a bunch of like those things, like those tikis you see that with the stick things you see that light on fire. That's where he goes to. So I don't know what's going on there. It's to be continued. So I'm interested to see what's going on with Baron Corbin. What do you think?
I love it. I think this Baron Corbin is insanely interesting. I wonder what he's going to do.
Yeah. Then we had Tiffany Stratton versus Ivy Nile. I think you know how this went. Tiffany Stratton just won randomly with a moonsault for no reason. Ivy Nile hit all the moves, got the submission in, but Tiffany Stratton survived, and then there was no distraction or anything. Tiffany Stratton just beat Ivy Nile clean. So that was stupid. This whole match is stupid. What do you think of this?
Just dumb. It doesn't need to happen. She should have won. Ivy Nile, but of course they can't have that because they need bland and boring and awful and terrible and horrific Tiffany Stratton to be a champion for the next year. Yeah.
The crowd was chanting, you tapped out at Tiffany Stratton. This was not really a real chant because the Chase U people in the crowd that they plant there got the chant started and everyone just kind of did it. So they clearly wanted that chant to get over because I think they're doing a rematch between Thea Hale and Tiffany Stratton. I would have preferred the chant to be organic. Like Sean forced this chant to happen for no reason, which is just terrible. Because Thea Hale's over anyways. What do you need to do that for? Like that was just awful. Like that's why that Chase U crowd's so annoying sometimes. They force chants to happen that don't need to happen. That's probably why that whoop whoop thing got over so well when Katana Chance and Candy Carter in there. I bet if you take out the freaking Chase U crowd, no one would have done it. But
they wouldn't have because no one would give a shit.
Yeah, but
they clearly don't. They came out with the fucking not this week but the week prior. They came out with the fucking stupid gun things.
Yeah,
and no one gave a rat's ass.
I think they did this week too, actually.
No one gave a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Because they were never over to begin with.
You see how much I cared about it. I completely forgot that you've even been doing that. That's how much I care. So,
whoop, whoop. No one cares.
but
Just release
then,
them already.
yeah. But then, maybe not release them and just do something different. So,
Release them.
you guys are thinking at least they're just gonna go to AEW or Impact.
Good, they'll suck over there. They'll botch their finisher every week over there too. Also,
we'll see. But then Tiffany Stratton said that she didn't want to hear the chant, so she just left. And then Thea Hale basically wants a rematch. They're setting up a rematch. So I guess they're going to do the rematch of the Great American Bash. It seems like they're going to do a submission match. I don't really see the point of doing a rematch if Thea Hale's not winning the belt. It doesn't make sense to do a rematch if Thea Hale's not winning the title, because it's one thing she didn't win the belt the first time. That's like whatever. But if to have a challenge for the belt again and to her to not win it again would just really make Thea Hale look bad. But what do you think?
It's gonna be Thea Hale has to win,
but she won't win. So
no.
Then the Supernova sessions got canceled. Noam Dar did a big tweet talk about how he just didn't have the heart to do the Supernova sessions. I assume what happened. I think they were supposed to happen, but I wonder if they cut it for time too because the Judgment Day had a match on the show. So I think they cut that segment for time. I think is what happened. But yeah, poor Noam Dar though, just can't even show. He's just missing that Heritage Cup. What do you think about the fact that the Supernova sessions was canceled?
Awesome.
What? That's mean.
It's great.
Very mean. Then Blair Davenport gets interviewed. She talks about how she's going to continuously, she basically warns Roxanne Perez to stay away from her because she's just going to end up like all the people that she's taken out. Basically, all the people that has an ACL injury. That's going to be Roxanne Perez. Because that's basically why Blair Davenport has this gimmick, because everyone kept getting an ACL injury. So
she's the ACLer.
Yeah. And then that was it. I expect Roxanne Perez is going to come back with like a new, maybe not a new gimmick, but she's going to be like, she's going to have like a fire underneath her to really take out Blair Davenport. Because Shawn Michaels, no feud in NXT. Especially if it's a woman's feud, can go past one match. Every feud's going to be like multiple matches type of thing. Can't just be one and done. That's it type of thing. Everything's going to be dragged out.
Everything does have to be dragged out.
Then we had Stacks versus Joe Coffey in a free or trial match. You're probably thinking what was bad about this. So they have the match. It's kind of whatever. Then Stacks allows himself to get hit with the a la Best for the Bells. And it looks like that they've made a deal. But Stacks kicks out. He actually kicks out of this. This doesn't make sense first because why would you let yourself get hit with that finish? You could have legitimately got knocked out and still lose anyways, type of thing. Because it's not like he allowed himself to get hit, just get hit. It'd be one thing if he just got hit. That just finished you. That's knocked people out. Why are you letting yourself get hit with that? But then we find out that it was a trap. There was no deal. Basically, Stacks worked them. And then what happens is during the match, Tony D calls in from prison, and they play this thing over like the PC or whatever. You know how like if you get a call from prison, it's like will you accept the charges and all that type of stuff. They actually play that voice. They play that recording over the PC. The crowd kind of looks around all confused type of thing.
Like what the hell?
And Tony D basically reveals that this was a trap. That there was no thing that happened with Stacks. But it didn't really explain though. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I think Stacks rat him out so that way, like, he could get a title match type of thing. They never explained who the rat was. Like, so Stacks, I guess, did rat him out, but I don't know. Like, that doesn't make sense. But what was funny about this is, on commentary they kept talking about, Booker T's prison pass and all that type of stuff. And Booker T was mentioned, how like when he was in prison, when he came out a better man and all that type of stuff. And he hopes that Tony D can. He was talking about like how if he did have to go to trial, maybe that could be the best that happens to Tony D. It was really funny. The funniest thing that happened is when that happened, Vic Joseph asked Booker T, when Stacks called it, no, when Tony D called in, Vic says, "Are you going to take care of that? Are you going to take care of that? Are you going to cover that phone line type of thing?" And Booker T says, I will cover that when I get to it," type of thing. Like, it was hilarious. So I guess Booker T is going to pay for that phone call. I wonder if he's paid for it yet, type of thing.
Probably not.
What phone did he call, by the way? Who did he call? Did he call, like, the PC? Like, well, who did he call? Like,
yeah, like, where's it getting through?
I don't know. But the match continues. Behind the referee's back, Stacks uses a pipe. That's not the finish for some reason, though. And then he wins with the high knee. It's like a curb stomp, and instead of the actual stomp, he does like the high knee, like drives the guy's head down to the floor type of thing. And Stacks wins, so Tony D's out of jail. But this was just really like Sean really ruined the storyline. The storyline was so easy, but I guess the whole thing was that Tony D and Stacks, this was a trap, but this was really convoluted. It just really didn't make any sense. I really didn't like how they went about this. How does this sound to you?
Extremely, extremely, extremely convoluted, just to get to the point that it was a trap.
Yeah, like
I just don't. It's I don't know. It's bizarre.
It should have just been what we said. Like, Joe Coffey was the rat, and they work out the deal where they basically, like, if you want to do this match, fine, but they work out the deal where they do this match and they can do the free or trial match type of thing. And that's what it should have been. And none of this shit where they do this trap or anything like that. Like, Sean, this is why Sean can't book weekly TV type of thing, because everything has to be convoluted and just overbooked type of thing. Like, it didn't make any sense to do this. During the show, remember that tag team that was supposed to do it? I think it was Blanco Nima and Lucia Price or whatever?
Yeah.
They do debut here. They just show up. They don't have a match or anything like that. They were just watching matches that happen. It's like, yeah, what a great way to hype a debut up. They're just there. They don't have a match or anything like that. They're just there. That's great.
Yeah, wow.
Cool. They're there. Then Ivy Niles backstage. Schism come up. They have a bunch of followers behind him and stuff. And they talk about how, Ivy Nile hasn't had a good time of it as of late, and Ivy Nile accuses Joe Gacy of being the one that interfered in the match last week. But Joe Gacy's like, how could that have been me? I got ejected. There's no way that could have been me. I could be out there. What do you think of that? What do you think of his reason in there? Because he was ejected type of thing. So,
fucking just nonsense.
And then they offer basically Ivy Nile a spot in Schism. So I don't like this. I think they should have just moved on from this. I hope this doesn't mean, huh?
They can't though.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't mean that the Creed brothers are coming back. I wouldn't mind them coming back, but I just don't want to see them in NXT anymore. It's time for them to move on to the main roster. So
from what I've seen, they're going back.
Yeah,
they're gonna be back.
I don't like that. It's like,
I fucking knew it.
This is like this was the perfect way to write them off too. This was perfect. Like, oh, yeah, it's terrible.
It's just they're going back in a few weeks. So
then we had Valentina for Royce and Yulisa Leon backstage. They cut a bad promo. Angel Gaza.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, Angel Gaza and Humberto Carrillo come up and basically try to ask him out on a date. And Dragon Lee and Nathan Fraser defend their honor and challenge them to a tag match next week. So that match will rule, but this is kind of the point where I think they've dropped the ball on Dragon Lee. Like, the guy should be either challenging for the North American Championship or at least in contention for like NXT title. Like, he should be wasted in this tag stuff and this Heritage Cup stuff with Nathan Fraser. I don't mind the team or anything like that, but Dragon Lee could be doing way more than he is. What do you think of this?
I agree. Do I think they dropped the ball with him? Not quite yet. If they go for the tag team titles, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just seems like it's just he's like a main event level talent stuck in the lower mid card.
Yeah,
or mid card. It's just nothing at this point.
I mean, you have a guy named Wesley and Dragon Lee, and you're not having them have a match yet. What are you doing? Like that's a perfect marketing match. The Battle of the Lees. Come on, it's perfect.
Yeah, it was. It's a Lee match.
They should have had a match. The winner gets the Lee name. I don't know who would win that. I would kind of like what would be worse, Wes or just Dragon Lee being I would kind of want Wesley to win, so Dragon Lee has to be just Dragon the rest of his life. That'd be awesome. He's just Dragon.
He's just, hey, what's up? I'm Dragon.
That'd be
The
awesome.
name's Dragon. Don't have the last name. I'm just Dragon. Or they take the first names, because therefore he'd be Dragon Wes. He'd be Wes Dragon.
So they get the Lee name, yeah, and then somebody would be Lee. Lee,
Lee, what's up?
Isn't that like a saying?
Lee, what's good? Or if they were really gonna keep it interesting, they could have had to be a double name. It could be Dragon.
I know. I got an idea. So they do a Battle of the Lees because this is, and it's and I don't know. Whoever wins, and they get the first name. Someone has to be. You know how they have the name Dragon Quest? Someone could be Dragon West. Dragon West.
What's up, Lee? I'm Dragon.
I'm West. The heck's going on? It'd be awesome. That needs to happen. Winner gets the lead name. Loser gets the first just the first names. Then we had the main event, not the show. You weren't here for that. So it was Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio ringside. Excellent main event here. I thought it ruled. It was great stuff. Eventually, Dragunov, after everyone interferes, tries to even the odds, but he fails and inadvertently hits an uppercut onto Carmelo Hayes, and it allows Finn Balor to hit the coup de grace on him for the win. And Judgment Day win, and that was the end of the show. Carmelo Hayes was very angry with Ilya Dragunov for doing this, so that wasn't good. This was good. It just wasn't good that Carmelo Hayes was angry. We don't want him angry. So,
no, we don't.
But yeah, I like this main event a lot here. I thought it protected Carmelo Hayes in defeat because he only lost because of Ilya Dragunov type of thing. Because of Judgment Day, we really couldn't lose here. That wouldn't really make sense. So I thought this was the best way to go about it. How does this sound to you?
It sounds good.
Yeah, and then that's basically everything. I'm really confused though. I guess they're not doing an NXT title match like I thought between Carmelo Hayes and Finn Balor. The only reason I could come up with they're not doing it is because Finn is going to challenge Seth again, and they don't want to give Finn a big loss before he has that match. What I would do is I would do a triple threat match and just have Ilya Dragunov take the pin, so that way Finn doesn't come off looking too weak. I was thinking at first they were going to do a tag match. It would be Seth and Carmelo Hayes versus Finn and Damian Priest. I thought that would have been cool, but they're not doing that either. But it is what it is. But yeah, I thought NXT was a good show. I'll give that a B- also. Just a good wrestling show. Just some booking things that really just didn't make much sense to me. That is the only reason it's not higher. What was weird is Damian Priest didn't even try to cash in the contract on Carmelo Hayes. Like the guy was laid out and he just didn't cash it in. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, guy's laid out. He's right. It was right there for you. Come on, man. What are you doing? I would have jumped on the opportunity to cash that contract in. So I don't know what you think.
Could have on Finn.
He's not a champion though.
That's okay.
Can you imagine someone cashing a Money in the Bank contract on someone that wasn't a champion? They should have R-Truth win the contract someday, and he cashes in on I don't know, on Roman Reigns when he loses the belt, thinking he's the champion.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
I would love that.
You can't grade NXT because you didn't see it, so
good.
No.
I didn't grade some.
Well, you can give it a grade. You can give it a D for did not watch because you didn't watch it. So
Ink.
But yeah, I'm going to cover the bump because I watched that this week. That aired on July 12th, 2023.
The bump, of course.
The hosts of the bump were Caleb Braxton, Matt Camp, and Ryan Popola. We had the intro. Grayson Waller was going to be on the bump, and he basically invaded the bump while Matt Camp and Ryan Popola were doing introductions, and Grayson Waller turned it into the Grayson Waller effect. And he has there's these tweets that pop up on the bottom on the bump. And Grayson Waller like hacked their phones, I think. And like Matt Camp tweeted something like praising Grayson Waller. And Matt Camp like never tweeted that, so he was all confused about it and all that type of stuff. And he was ragging on Matt Camp and Ryan Popola for their fashion choices, and he was just like Grayson Waller was just being really awesome here. He was great.
What an asshole.
Yeah. Then they cut to the intro. They kind of broke down everything that's going on throughout the week in WWE. They couldn't believe any of this stuff happened. Like they couldn't believe that Jey Uso, that Roman Reigns beat the crap out of the Usos and stuff, and that Jey Uso came back. They just couldn't believe that happened. They were so surprised about it. But they brought out Grayson Waller. They interviewed him. He talked about, his moment with John Cena. He said that he gave John Cena the Grayson Waller rub, which, means a lot in the business type of thing. And he said that he's looking forward to going to SmackDown and giving a lot of people the Grayson Waller rub. So, he's going to give a lot of people the Grayson Waller rub. Isn't that nice of him?
I don't want his rub.
And he talked about how his performance on SmackDown against Edge. He said that, he didn't really lose because he only had a short time to prepare for his match with Edge. If he had more time to prepare, he could have beaten Edge. He talked about Edge cheated because, his spear feels more painful than usual because he's had shoulder in his shoulders. So really, it's a metal plate. So that should have been an instant disqualification. What's to make he's allowed to think that.
Excuses.
Huh?
Excuses.
And then they put up some tweets. He answered some questions. Then he put up his own tweets, which is tweets that he clearly wrote, his other accounts and all that type of stuff. And Matt Camp was really confused about that. He didn't understand what was going on there. And then they kind of ended it. He also he called out other people. He said that he also called out Stone Cold Steve Austin on the bump, so that was interesting. Then they continued the bump. Byron Saxon interviewed Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. He was just kind of interviewing them about their tag title match. They were being very rude to him, though. They were talking, they didn't really like some of the questions he was asking because he was asking a lot of questions, like as if they lost and all that type of stuff. And he showed this thing, like the Katana chance, like a really big move on Chelsea Green. She said that was slander and all that type of stuff. And yeah, they were just being kind of mean to Byron here, type of thing. He was very nervous to ask any more questions. So that was again why these wrestlers just don't like Byron Saxon for some reason. I don't get it. Then they interviewed Johnny Knoxville. He talked a lot about this celebrity prank show that he has where he's on the panel. I really kind of skipped around because I really don't have any interest in that show, so I didn't really want to hear him talk about it. He talked about his match he had with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 38. He still doesn't like Sami Zayn, even though Sami Zayn's turned a new leaf, so that's not nice. He talked about all these wrestlers that he thinks are good pranksters. And then, Grayson Waller wanted to be on the prank show, Johnny Knoxville is going to see that if he can open a spot open for him, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then Johnny Knoxville had this action figure of Sami Zayn, and he tried to put it into the blender and blend it, but it didn't really work. So he just smashed the blender on the ground and destroyed the Sami Zayn action figure. Like, this dude has issues. Like, what are you doing that for? Sami Zayn's a good guy now, dude. What are you doing? Like,
all right, what the hell?
And that was the bump. I enjoyed the bump. Johnny Knoxville left the call pretty immaturely, so that was kind of funny. And I'll give the bump like a B. It was really solid. I thought Grayson Waller was awesome on there, and he was just doing some good stuff. Now you're doing SmackDown notes. This never happened because you never watched SmackDown live, but you're actually doing SmackDown notes.
No, that's over now. That's over now.
What do you mean?
SmackDown Live. That ended.
Oh, well, it is live, but it's just regular SmackDown now. So, you want to take us through SmackDown?
Yes. So SmackDown was live, not SmackDown taped. They thought they needed to tell us that all the time in 2016. It was SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
So they started their show off with Jey Uso walking backstage, and he walked by someone and said, "What's up, Uso?"
Yeah.
And that was cool. Just shows like him walking in like kind of pissed off, which he should be because his fucking twin got taken out last week.
Yeah.
And then they go to the ring, and Rhea Ripley's banner starts playing for some reason.
Yeah, it was weird.
But it's Bianca Belair, and she comes out and cuts a promo about how she's facing Asuka, and she's going to be the new women's champion. Then Charlotte Flair comes out, and she interrupts her, and she says it doesn't matter who wins tonight. She's going to face whoever at SummerSlam, basically. It's a pretty solid segment. Charlotte got a huge pop. Not surprising, because they're in Flair country in North Carolina. On the campus of that was at PNC Arena. That's right, where the Hurricanes play. But they pretty solid segment. Bianca was super over too, even with the Charlotte Flair interruption. They're really cheering for both of them. But yeah, it was really, really good.
Yeah, I like the segment. I thought it was a nice way to kind of set up what was going to happen. They implied that Charlotte would rather face Bianca at SummerSlam, but she said she didn't care who won the who won the match and everything like that. But yeah, I like this. I like Bianca here. It doesn't seem like they're building a heel turn anymore because she was very much the face Bianca that we've seen basically since she's joined the main roster. So that is interesting. But yeah, I thought this built interest into the women's championship match.
So next we have the tag team match with the Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, my mom's calling me.
Uh-oh. Well, before that, I'll just say, because Chris forgot, SmackDown took place on, it would have been July 14th, 2023, and we had Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on commentary. I thought they were excellent together on commentary. Also, too, there was a backstage segment with the Brawling Brutes where they talked about how, Sheamus is upset because he had the United States Championship won last week, but Pretty Deadly kept interfering, and they want to put an end to this problem once and for all. And yeah, I'll just take us through the match. It was Sheamus and Ridge Holland. It wasn't Pete Dunne. Because Pete Dunne had a match later, so yeah. That's why it was Sheamus and Ridge Holland. This was a pretty entertaining match here. Sheamus and Ridge Holland dominated early, and then eventually Pretty Deadly got the heat on Sheamus. They beat the crap out of him for a while, and then eventually Ridge Holland got the hot tag. Ridge Holland completely took out Pretty Deadly. He completely wipes him out. Eventually Sheamus gets in there. They do this good spot in the match where they both hit the 10 beats of the bad one. Sheamus does it the normal way, and Ridge Holland has him like propped up on the top turnbuckle, and he's doing the 10 beats of the bad one. I thought that was pretty cool. And then Sheamus eventually hits a blow kick on, I think it's Kurt Wilson, and Elton Prince. He hits exposed with the turnbuckle meanwhile, and Ridge Holland goes to charge at him in the corner. And he inadvertently hits the turnbuckle, and because he's still selling the throat injury, Elton Prince ends up hitting I think a German suplex followed by a leg drop for the win, and Pretty Deadly win. If Chris comes
okay,
up,
I'm back.
I just took us through the first match, so just give your thoughts on the first match.
Yeah, my parents just got home. I thought this match was pretty good. It turns out that in this match, one of them got hurt. I forget who it was. It wasn't Elton Prince. It was whoever the other one was. I forget his name now.
Kit Wilson.
Yes. He ended up hurting his shoulder in the match, and he's going to be out for a while.
That sucks.
And it was, again, who do you think hurt him?
Yeah, Rich Holland.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I mean, I'm not going to say he did it, like, he's very clumsy.
Yeah.
In the ring. It's the second person now. I'm not going to say too much because Seth Rollins injured Sting and injured Finn Balor. But it comes a point where I know there was like a gap in between that, but like he's not unsafe, but shit happens, but it seems to happen a lot with him.
Yeah.
And it's stuck because they were really picking up steam as a tag team too, pretty deadly.
Yeah, this does suck. I don't think Rich Holland should necessarily be fired because there was a big gap. There was a big gap this time. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, why are you not calling for? How come you not?" Because we this was one of the reasons we haven't liked Nia Jax and all that type of stuff. Because Nia Jax was like was injuring people like weekly type of thing. Like it'd be like every week, someone would get hurt. Like at least there was a gap here at least.
He's just clumsy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna happen. Like he's just a big dude who's fired up. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
But he just needs to stop talking because he went online afterwards and started clapping back at fans. Don't do that. It's gonna make it worse for you.
Yeah. And then I think we haven't ranted on Seth Rollins because the moves that those were essentially free accidents. Like the buckle bomb was a very unsafe move, and when he injured Cena all that time ago, it was a high knee that took out Cena. Like it was those were like freak accidents that happened with Seth Rollins in that span of time and all that type of stuff. So with Nia Jax, she was like injuring people like every week, doing doing a regular moveset type of thing and all that type of stuff too. And sometimes the same person like every week too. So yeah. I mean, I guess we can't really say it's every week because I think when Nia Jax started really injuring people, it was also during the pandemic, so it could have been
even before that.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Like
he's just clumsy.
Yeah, but yeah, stay offline for a little bit.
So Kathy Kelly's backstage with Grayson Waller, and he's just being an asshole like he usually is. And he starts mocking The Rock. Starts saying The Rock's catchphrases and whatnot, and basically guarantees a win. But I will say this shit does not happen unless if they have something lined up.
Yep.
I feel like it's coming.
Because he's been calling out The Rock lately. He's done it on social media. He made fun of The Rock for like his first when attire that he was wearing when he debuted in Madison Square Garden and everything like that. So,
and he's making fun of the fact that he doesn't care about the fact that his family's falling apart.
Yeah. So,
his daughter's at a cult.
Yeah. So, I think The Rock might be coming back. I don't know if it just be for this segment. If it is, I'm okay with it. Obviously, I just want to see The Rock. We haven't seen The Rock in a wrestling ring. I think, what was it, the first SmackDown on Fox? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been forever.
I feel like if The Rock is coming back, I don't know if it. I feel like if he just does the Grayson Waller segment, I'm okay with it. Because I do wonder, like, still want to see The Rock versus Roman, but I wonder if that ship is kind of sailed now, just because, like, you could still do it. It can't be WrestleMania this year, though. Like, because then Roman's gonna win. Like, it needs to be either Roman loses the belt before Mania and you do the match, or Roman loses the belt at Mania and you do the match. Because I think because if Roman's wrestling at Mania, with the title, it needs to be him dropping it to Cody. It can't be he faces The Rock for the belt, because then it doesn't make sense to delay Cody's coronation even longer, type of thing. Like, we delayed it a year type already as it was.
Yeah.
I would be okay if they did the match at the Rumble. I know it's not really like a Royal Rumble match, but at least that way we can get the title involved if they want to do it for the title, and that way everybody's happy, type of thing. And honestly, you could that interweaves Cody into it, because Cody's all about a family man and everything like that, so that interweaves Cody into it. But Again, though, we're just talking as if that's going to happen. I think it might just be an appearance where he goes and confronts Grayson Waller, but it will be kind of weird if The Rock shows up and he doesn't even mention Roman Reigns at all or anything like that. So,
yeah,
I just don't want. Yeah, I'd be okay. Like, I think I don't want to see The Rock versus Roman just because like we're at the point now where it's time for Roman to drop the title. Like at least either before Mania or by Mania. Like it can't be after Mania. It can't be. If he's not wrestling, if he's wrestling The Rock at Mania, it should be before Mania, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. In that space in between.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked this Grayson Waller interview.
So we come back from commercial break, and it's Michael Cole announcing that Jimmy Uso will be out for the foreseeable future, as he sustained a ruptured rib cartilage last week. I don't know if this is storyline or not. I just don't know at the moment. Probably because they haven't announced anything yet, per se. With him being injured, I think a storyline is going to take a few weeks off and let Jay handle the business by himself for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
I think they're gearing up for like a surprise return of Jimmy Uso or whatever.
Maybe at SummerSlam if he can come back by then.
If he's not like legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlotte Flair has her suitcase and she's walking backstage and she walks by Adam Pearce and says that she doesn't have to be there for the rest of the night. She feels good about who's winning and she's leaving. And just as she goes to leave, in came Bayley and Io, and Charlotte doesn't have a good feeling anymore, and she's gonna stay as they're in the background with the belt, with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and so Charlotte's gonna stay now.
Yep.
I like this. I like this segment quite a lot. Like Charlotte knew that who was gonna win, and she was confident who was gonna win. And then as soon as Bayley and Io come into the picture, she's like, I think I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, I like that. It kind of sets up a lot of people in the title picture too. I always like it when they set up multiple opponents that the champion can face for the belt, so that's good.
Yeah. I liked it. But next we have Zelina Vega versus Bayley with Io at ringside, and Bayley wins. And it's a quick nothing match. Not what they should be doing with Zelina, but whatever. She does theirs better than that. But it was competitive at least. And then they show a video package of Shotzi going fucking insane. And she shaved her hair. She shaved all of her fucking hair off. And it's for a reason. Her sister is battling cancer. And she did it in support of her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I loved it. I thought the segment, at first I was like, why the fuck are they doing that? And then reading that afterwards, I was like, oh, that's in support of her sister. I love it.
I like it anyways, just because like it gets over like that she's insane now and all this type of stuff.
Oh yeah, because they cut her hair to begin with.
Yeah, and now that she gives her more of a character now and all that type of stuff. Because I feel like the character kind of wasn't really working. Just her, I like her that she's gonna go insane now and all that type of stuff. The only thing that sucked is if she does have a match, it should be with Bayley. It shouldn't be with Io because you're booking yourself into a corner there because they both shouldn't lose. It should be because at least if it's Bayley, then Bayley can lose and no one really hurts. Like no one gets hurt from that. Like Io Sky's Money in the Bank. I'd be okay if like Shotzi got like a tag partner and they did a tag match, maybe at SummerSlam or like the go home episode of SmackDown before SummerSlam, and
where no one really gets hurt.
Yeah, because then Bayley can lose the tag match type of thing. So, because I feel like they can't do Io Sky versus Shotzi 1-on-1 because they would both need a win there. So, but I'm okay with this. I like this feud. I like the fact that they're doing something new with Shotzi now. So that's good. And again, if she's doing this in support for her sister, you can't really crap on it too much either, type of thing. So, I know. Well, because someone did, right? Some Hall of Famer like trashed the fact that they did this, right?
Someone, some YouTube loser did.
Oh, okay.
Who no one likes.
I was gonna say
JD from New York. He's an idiot.
I just called him a Hall of Famer.
Doubles down on it.
I forget what he said, but it wasn't a good take.
He's just being an idiot.
Yeah.
And doubled down on it twice.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Not good.
So we come back from commercial break and Jay's in the ring, massive, just fucking massive Uso chant. And Jay talks about how when they were going throughout life as twins and whatnot, they were attached to the hip. Whatever they did together growing up, they did together. So if Jimmy was hurt, Jay was hurt. If Jimmy was mad, Jay was mad, and whatnot, like going through all the range of emotions. And now he says, but if Jimmy's hurt, I'm hurt. And now you could see him like getting emotional about his brother, his twin brother, being hurt, and he's fucking pissed. But he never said he said he never thought he'd be getting hurt, be hurt by a family member.
Yeah.
And he respects his entire family. But when it comes to Roman Reigns, he's disrespecting all of them. And he brings up Solo too, and he says he's gonna beat up his younger brother essentially. And he talks about how he's gonna become main event Jey Uso, and that got me fucking hyped. And I got the crowd hyped too. That was fucking awesome. And then out comes Paul Heyman with Solo, and they start jaw-jacking back and forth. And next week, Roman's going to be there, and him and Jay are going to be face-to-face. And it gets to the point where Solo basically just grabs the mic from Paul Heyman, and he starts talking shit, and then they start brawling, and they go to the floor. He tosses Solo out, hits him with, I think, him with a super kick. He rolled out, and then he turns to Paul Heyman, and the crowd goes fucking crazy. Crowd went fucking ballistic for that. Solo gets involved again to try to defend Paul Heyman, and Jay fights him off. And as the fucking fat walrus tries to use a chair, Jimmy fucking drills him with a super kick. Jay, not Jay. Yeah, Jay drills him with a super kick. Main event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And that was fucking amazing. I loved every bit of this fucking segment. I will say this too. I covered a little bit of it. Didn't cover all of it. Go back and watch the entire fucking thing from start to finish because it is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking promo between Paul Heyman, and Solo. Solo, I mean, people don't know that Solo could talk. If you watch the NXT stuff, you know that he's great on the mic. It was a fantastic promo battle, segment, everything in between, and Paul Heyman getting laid out with a super kick was fucking awesome, and him taking the bump so shittily like Vince would have done is hilarious.
Yeah, this was great stuff. I like that they were blaming Jay for the reason Jimmy got taken out too, and they were like, Paul Heyman got to the point where he didn't even talk to Jay anymore. He was talking to Jimmy type of thing.
Yeah.
So, I liked this a lot. I thought too it made sense for Jay to take out Heyman because he's been really close with Heyman and all that type of stuff doing all this time. I think the setting up post SummerSlam, because Jay's probably not winning the belt, but it's probably gonna be Solo versus Jay post SummerSlam, which I think would make sense. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this. I would have ended the show with this. I get why they didn't end the show. I get why they didn't end the show with this because they did the big stuff with the Bloodline last week. There was no Roman Reigns this week, but I feel like this would have been a better ending to SmackDown than the ending we got, because I wasn't a big fan of the ending of SmackDown. So, because I feel like this would have been more of an impact if it closed the show. But again, I get why they want to do different stuff in the main event, and you can't have But I feel like this, because the biggest thing that happens is Heyman actually takes a bump here and stuff. Like I feel like this should have closed.
You don't see him ever take a bump.
Yeah, so I thought that would have been more impactful if this closed the show.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Fantastic. Next is the elimination, the one of the Fatal 4-Ways.
Yeah, it's not an elimination. It was just a regular fatal 4-way.
Eliminator match.
Yeah.
Grayson Waller versus AJ Styles versus Santos Escobar versus Butch, where the winner will go on to face the next week's winner of the Fatal 4-Way, which I can fucking guarantee you it's going to be LA Knight.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
If you look at the field, you can tell it's totally him who's winning.
Yeah.
Because that would make the most sense. Because if you're trying to push LA Knight to be the fucking huge babyface, why not have him go up against the heel champion?
Yeah, that makes sense.
This match was great from start to finish, but the finish happens when AJ goes for a Styles Clash, but on the Jumbotron is Karrion Kross, and he beat the living shit out of Gallows and Anderson in the back, just beats the crap out of him. AJ goes to leave, but gets hit with a rolling stunner. And then Santos comes out of nowhere and hits a splash for the win.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, let's go, Santos. I was totally shocked Santos won that.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
I loved it. Love that Santos won. Gives him a win. He hasn't won in forever, it feels like.
I know, yeah.
Gets a nice big win. Gives him some nice momentum going into the singles match he'll have with the winner of the next Fatal 4-Way match that's happening on the next episode of SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, I was okay with this. I liked this 4-Way a lot. I thought it was very, Austin Theory was on commentary for it. He did very well. He didn't really speak all that much on commentary. Like, there's points where Michael Cole has to get him to talk type of thing. But I do have a few issues with the match. First, I think you know the first one. The fact that they're dragging out this AJ Styles Karrion Kross feud. Like, there's no reason to keep this feud going anymore. Like, the dude lost last week to AJ Styles in less than 5 minutes. You can't come back from that. There's nothing you could do to come back from that. You lost.
Completely buried him in that match. But again, if they're gonna rectify it and do it properly this time, I don't mind it.
I mean, I'm okay, but he's gonna lose. But he's gonna lose again. So what's the point? Like, there's no point in doing this. I think they just want to give AJ something to do. So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I also don't like because I just say you see the OC later. Apparently, Scarlett kicked the shit out of Mia Yim or something because Mia Yim was holding her shoulder. That made Mia Yim look weak. The fact that like Scarlett kicked her ass too. Like, it should have been Mia Yim that got her ass kicked, unless I don't know what happened there. And then obviously I wouldn't have had Grayson Waller take the pin. I think it should have been Pete Dunne just because Grayson Waller.
For sure, he's the only one that makes sense. That surprised me when Santos pinned Grayson. I was like, what? I'm like, why isn't Grayson eating the pin already?
Just because he just had that match with Edge. He didn't have to win the 4-Way, but he shouldn't have taken the pin.
No, definitely should not have taken the pin.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Should not have taken the pin.
Yeah.
So they cut to the back after commercial break, and AJ is checking on Gallows and Anderson, and basically says they're going to beat the crap out of him. They're going to beat the crap out of Karrion Kross. Which again, it's 3-on-1, so he's going to get 2 partners.
I don't. Yeah, like again, I don't like
the advantage right now.
Yeah, I don't like this is very backwards booking. The heel is the one that has to even the odds. It doesn't make sense.
This next fucking segment confused the fucking shit out of me. So the Street Profits are outside, and they're waiting for someone outside. And then someone shows up in a fucking beautiful fucking limousine. Like an Escalade limousine almost. It was fucking fancy as fuck. And who pops out? Fucking Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
And they dap each other up, they get in the limo, and they drive off. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
I don't know what's going on here.
But then I thought for a second, I was like, wait a minute, they're turning the Profits heel. So maybe it's a new Hurt business? I don't know.
Well, if they turn the Profits heel, though, but isn't Lashley already a babyface?
I think he's a heel now.
No, he's a babyface. I'm pretty sure he is.
And he's going to be the face of, I don't know. I read a while back that they're trying to turn the Profits heel, but I don't know when the hell that is happening. But I guess Bobby Lashley's a face. I know he switches so much now. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I think he's a babyface, but yeah, like I want to see where this goes. I'm kind of interested in it. I would have preferred they just put the Hurt business back together with Cedric and Shelton. because I don't think the Street Profits need to be with Bobby Lashley just because they are fine on their own. But Cedric and Shelton really don't either, but they stand more of a chance getting booked, at least if they're
exactly.
If they're in the business.
At least more visibility on television.
Yeah. So
so basically just everyone next just cuts a promo about next week's Eliminator. And then here it fucking comes. LA Knight's music hits.
Oh, this is awesome.
And holy shit. Did he get an insane pop? And he starts off with, let me talk to you. And the crowd just goes, yeah. After everything he fucking says, they say yeah to. And someone said this online, and I agree with it. It's like LA Knight single-handedly cured us from having the what chance. There's no more what chance anymore. It's a yeah chant now.
Well, I did hear some what chants during Jay's promo, though. So,
but for the most part, the what chants are gone.
I'm glad though, because the what chants are annoying. The yeah chants I'm actually into, type of thing.
See, because the what chants worked with Steve Austin.
Yeah,
that's the only fucking thing it worked with because he came up with it.
Yeah,
but after that, if it's not a Steve Austin promo, don't fucking say it. It's only works with him.
Yeah,
because then it just turns into fucking disrespecting other people. Like if you like a babyface is trying to cut a promo and you're chanting what every time, or if it. First of all, the one thing that I hate about the what chants was every time an Asian superstar would cut a promo, they'd chant what at them.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
Well, English isn't their first language, you motherfuckers. They fucking speak better. They speak better English than fucking half the people that live in the States to begin with, and it's not even their first language.
Yeah.
I was like, that's incredibly disrespectful.
I wonder if the yeah chant would get annoying. I feel like the yeah chant really can't get annoying. But...
it could get annoying after a while, but it works right now.
Yeah.
I was saying that on vacation too. Every time my mom would talk to me, I'd be like, yeah.
I feel like every time I talk to someone, I'm just gonna go, yeah.
It's like my favorite thing. I'm not even gonna cover the goddamn promo. Just go back, listen to the pop, listen to the promo. They say the crowd says yeah after everything he says, so it's fucking over.
Yeah, this dude. I'm glad. Like, I still think he should have won the briefcase, but now that he's a babyface, it legitimately would not make sense for him to have the briefcase.
No, because the champion on Raw is a face. The champion on SmackDown is not losing his title forever. So
yeah, so I'm okay.
It's okay for him to go after Theory and be a face.
I will say, though, Ray's promo, oh my gosh, you could definitely tell he cut this promo. He didn't have any mics on. He was so echoey. Like, Ray's promo was so echoey, I gotta say. Like, what the hell happened? Like, it was so... because it wasn't like I watched this with headphones, but then I was watching this on my TV, and it sounded like as if I was watching it with headphones. Like, it was so echoey. Like, what happened? Like...
I love at the end, he does that. Everyone does the LA Knight chant, too. At the end.
Yeah, that's awesome, yeah.
LA Knight, yeah.
I think it's time for him to win that US title. It's time for Theory to drop the belt. I think Theory needs to go away for a little bit. Theory is so bland now. Like, it's not even funny. It's
not even that he's just bland. He doesn't have any character direction.
Yeah.
If anything, he needs to go phase 2 also.
Maybe. But it's just like, I think I keep talking about it. That victory for Cena, like, really didn't do anything. If anything, I think he's in a worse position than before he beat Cena at WrestleMania. Like,
do you know what John was right about what he said in this promo. What they needed to do was, John needed to cover a little bit more time after Mania, kept the feud going at least for another couple weeks. Because it felt like it didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And I think if you carried on just a few more weeks after WrestleMania, have John continuously give him that rub, I think he would have been in a better position. Instead, he went from getting the rub from Cena, he beats John, and then the night after Mania, everyone forgets about it.
I think why he's so directionless too is because the show, because you don't know who's won the show, because Vince loves Theory, but I think Triple H likes Theory, but he's more of a Vince project, so we don't know. So it depends on. I think it just depends on who's running the show every week too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it just doesn't. Yeah, it just.
He has no direction at the moment.
None.
Especially too if LA Knight beats him for the belt, like that's gonna
There's
be
no fucking he needs to go away.
Yeah.
So now the main event, it's Asuka versus Bianca Belair for the the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, that's
the Women's World Heavyweight Championship.
That's still one.
Whatever the fuck it is, I don't care anymore. It doesn't make it.
It's
all the fucking same thing.
The Women's Championships on SmackDown, the Women's World Championships on Raw. There you go. That's how you differentiate the championships.
Okay. I'm not going to remember that. This is a very competitive back and forth match, but the ending kind of gets a little clusterfucky. Bayley, because it showed Charlotte appearing at ringside or whatever the fuck she was sitting down somewhere. And Bayley and Io were there too. They jumped the barricade, but as the Charlotte and they start brawling, and Charlotte goes for the spear, accidentally hits Bianca, and there's your disqualification.
Yeah.
Bianca wins by DQ. Yeah. Io tries to go in to cash in the money in the bank, but it's foiled. And they just basically Asuka just celebrates.
I didn't like this. I didn't like this.
It just seems like a massive clusterfuck to end the show.
Yeah,
it's something that wasn't needed.
It was it just very confusing. Like, why did this time Bayley and Charlotte have to buy tickets? It didn't really make sense because they weren't banned from ringside or anything like that. Like, it made sense when Bianca had to do it because she was actually banned from ringside, so that was her way around it. And
it's
then
not like Charlotte left. She could just sit at fucking ringside.
And then the match was kind of whatever. It was what it was. Why did Charlotte care whether or not who the champion was? She was helping Bianca out. Like, why would she even care about who was going to be the champion? All she said was, "I want to face the champion at SummerSlam." So why did she foil?
Why is she trying to be like overly face?
Yeah, that doesn't make it.
It's just it almost seems like she's trying too hard to be a face, and it comes off as being like super disingenuous.
And then the big question I have too is Asuka. Well, not really a question. I'm just making a statement. Asuka feels very forgotten about in this because there's so much going on. Like, Asuka feels very forgotten about here.
Oh, extremely forgotten about.
It's more about Charlotte and Bianca and about what Io Sky is going to cash in. It feels like Asuka's very lost in the shuffle here. So
she's the fucking champion.
Yeah, so it's like so I didn't care for any. The match was whatever. I didn't really care for how they ended it. This is what I feel like. That's why I think the J segment should have main evented, and I would have inverted the segments. I would have put the Charlotte. I would put the women's title match where the J segment was, and the J segment in the main event because it would have made the show have a better.
Because you needed to close with a bang, and Paul Heyman eating that super kick was the bang.
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
That was the best fucking that. In the LA Knight promo, the matches weren't bad.
No,
just all the matches were pretty solid for the most part. Nothing was outrageously bad. There was really no outrageously bad promo or segment or anything. Usually, there's a few matches on the show that are like, this absolutely fucking sucks dick, and it's fucking awful. In a promo where it's like, why the fuck was this even on the show? But this show felt very. Although out of order with the Jay and the Bianca match, it felt very flowy. Yeah. It didn't feel like anything was like hurt by it or anything.
Yeah, I'll give the SmackDown like an A- for that reason, just because it flowed very well. The only thing that knocks it down is obviously the placement of the Jay and women's title match segments, and the fact that they're continuing AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. I give it an A-. A very, very, very good episode of SmackDown. Definitely carried heavy by the Jay promo.
Definitely.
Yeah, and like I said, none of the matches were bad.
I agree. So let's
just solid show.
Let's do some predictions for this We're not going to review Level Up. I didn't have time to watch it. We'll cover it next week.
Yeah, just 2 of them in next week.
Yeah,
so it's 3 matches. That's going to be 6 matches total, so it's not even that bad.
Yeah. But let's do some predictions for some shows coming up. I think Raw only has 2 things announced. Brock Lesnar's going to be there. I imagine they're going to set the stipulation up between Cody and Brock. That's going to be like your first official match announced probably at SummerSlam, I would say. Would you agree with that? Or do you think not? What do you think? Do you think something completely different is going to
happen? I would hope it's the segment that they announced, the match. But I feel like it's just Brock saying that he wants to face Cody.
Yeah. And then we have a women's tag team title match coming up. It's going to be Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan defending against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. I actually think that Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville are going to win the belts. I think Rhea Ripley's going to screw over Liv and Raquel, and it's going to set up Rhea versus Raquel at SummerSlam. What do you think?
I think, man, this is tough. I'm going to go with you, though, because I feel like that match is going to get set up. But I also feel like, too, at the same time, where the fuck does that leave Liv?
I don't know, yeah. Maybe a triple threat match then, if you want to do that. But I feel like they're not going to do a triple threat match because
that would be one-on-one. Yeah. I guess Liv. I don't know. I guess Liv feuds with someone else then, and then they just like get back to it again.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a rematch like in September or something like that for the belts or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's going to be that Liv Morgan heel turn that they reported was going to happen. Maybe that will happen there, but it doesn't really make sense for Liv to go here. Now, I feel like they reported that when they thought she was going to be out for a while. So
yeah, I just don't think Liv. Also, too, I don't think Liv would work as a heel.
Yeah, so
she never really worked as a heel in the first place with Riot Squad.
Yeah,
we like her. Why can't we have people that we like just stay face? Why can't we have the staunch fucking John Cena type face run where no matter what they're just gonna keep living face because that's the gimmick that suits her the best.
Yeah,
when people like her. She's over. So what's the point of doing it? What's the point of changing her?
We have some matches announced for NXT. We have Wes Lee defending his North American Championship against Dirty Dom. I might go out on a limb and pick Dom, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Wes Lee's retaining his championship. I think because they already have the match announced between him and Mustafa Ali. I think they're going to keep that going. They could swerve us and give it to Dom, but I don't see Wes Lee losing the belt on a regular episode of NXT. What do you think?
I think that Wes Lee is going to embarrass that motherfucker. Embarrassing, squash him in under a minute.
We'll see. Then we have Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazer versus Los Lotharios. I hate to say this, unfortunately, I think Los Lotharios will win. It's the first match back in NXT.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And
it sucks too because it should be Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazer, but like they're returning to NXT, so it's like there's no way they're losing.
I don't think we have anything against Los Lotharios. We just want
no. I like them as a tag team. I think they're really good, but it's also too at the same time very confusing that they were faces a week ago.
Like, I know, yeah.
Why were they acting heelish this week?
Yeah. Then we have Gigi Dolan versus Kiana James again. I think, unfortunately, this time Kiana James is going to win to continue this storyline that it has no business going on any longer. What do you think?
I think it's going to be Gigi, and this feud's going to fucking finally end. And then they could send Kiana James right back to the house show circuit where she belongs.
Let's see. And then Tony D is going to have a homecoming. I imagine
the man who was very angry about getting out of prison is very, very happy that he's in prison. He's out of prison now.
Well, remember, it was a ruse, though, so that's why it looked like that. So I imagine that this is going to get interrupted by Gallus, and Gallus is going to beat the crap out of him. What do you think?
Yes. That seems very obvious because they fell for the ruse. But yeah. That's interesting.
I do. You do realize I have a feeling Sean did all this, and he's not even going to give Stacks and Tony D the belts probably too. He's probably going to have Gallus retain the belts after all this.
Oh, he's going to have them retain the belts at a squash.
and then you have to ask yourself, like, what did you do all this for? Like,
it's going to be a 30-second match.
Yeah.
Joe Coffey's gonna hit his finisher in 30 seconds and then pin him. Like Sting did with Jeff Hardy.
We have some stuff announced for SmackDown. SmackDown's going to be on FS1 next week because the women's FIFA's going on, so they have to go to FS1 next week. Which I think is why they're loading the show next week with like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you have to.
Because SmackDown's I think going to take a dip in the ratings anyway.
Oh, it's going to go. It is. It will be in the ones.
Yeah.
If they're lucky.
Just because like
Usually FS1 when they go to FS1 it dips to like under 1 million, but not by much. It's like 965. Yeah. That's just because FS1's not on every household. Yeah. So and then they go and then people will be like, "Oh, look, it's SmackDown did a terrible rating." Ha ha ha. And then the next week it's like 2.2. It's like, "Oh, wait a minute, they're back on the main brand again, the 2.2 again. What a surprise." You
know what's going to happen too? They're going to point this like, oh, I guess Roman Reigns ain't a big ratings draw. I can't even put in 2 million viewers. What happened? And when every week he's been doing that, that's the 1 week they're on FS1. They can't do that. They'll be like,
it's not every. I mean, they've done that before in the past. So they've been on FS1 and they've loaded it, and it really didn't do all that well.
So we'll see what happens. But we have another fatal 4-way match. It's Rey Mysterio versus Sheamus versus Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. I think we both want LA Knight. We both want LA Knight to win this.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win this, I am never watching SmackDown ever again. Watch, he's gonna lose now too. And then I can't watch SmackDown anymore.
Ooh, it's on camera.
Oh no.
To never watch, baby.
Imagine he doesn't even show up. He just no shows. Like
after he cut that fucking promo this week,
he's just like, nah, I'm not showing up.
Hyping up the match on FS1, even saying FS1 in the promo too.
And he just no shows. He just doesn't. He just decides I'm not coming.
I'm not coming. I'm winning anyway. Just give me the win.
That'd be hilarious. Then we have Roman Reigns is going to be returning. You realize a lot we say Roman Reigns is going to be returning. He's had a lot of returns this year. Like
he has, and it's not even been like a return. Like he's not been like out of action, or he's a return signing. It's literally like, oh, Roman Reigns is returning. Oh, great, he was on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. It's not really a fucking return because he missed a week of television.
Have you ever seen like this picture on Instagram, like? Of all the times this year they've advertised Roman Reigns return, not even this year, that since he's been a part-timer, Roman Reigns returns. He's had like several returns since he's been a part-timer.
It's been like 20 to 30 of them. Like we fucking get it. He's coming back. He's only been gone for a week. I get why they have to do that though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like
I mean, people are gonna watch Raw anyways because it's really not like affected by anything besides probably like Monday Night Football in like a couple in September, but like it's not. You don't have to promote like Roman being there.
Yeah.
Whereas like with SmackDown, you have to promote him being there like every fucking week because it's on a main channel.
But he's had like Roman Reigns return. Pretty soon he's gonna be gone for like. I feel like he's gonna be gone not even a week. There'll be like next week. Michael Cole have to be like, oh my gosh, wait.
It'd be like SmackDown. He shows up. And then on Raw, they announced Roman Reigns is returning to SmackDown for SmackDown on Raw. It's like, what the fuck?
But anyhow, what do you think's going to happen in the Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and rules of engagement type of thing?
Fireworks, explosions, fists, feet.
Imagine you say that, then they explode and turn into fireworks. Like Jey Uso just bursts into flames. Jey Uso just bursts into flames into fireworks mid promo while he's talking to Roman Reigns. Or Roman Reigns comes out before even Jey Uso comes out, and he says wherever they are, and then before he can even say acknowledge me, he just bursts into flames and turns into fireworks. What would Paul Heyman do? How would he react to that? Like,
I don't even know.
But
it'd be a lot of physicality. Lots of super kicks.
If Reigns just exploded, you would have to vacate the belt, right? Because you can't. If you explode, you can't even defend your championship.
Exploder.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Are you looking forward to that, or are you just like?
Oh, that's gonna be it's gonna be, fists are gonna be flying, feet are gonna be put in people's faces, arms are gonna be wrapped around people.
Yeah. It's gonna be bad. I'm not even scared. You know, it's good though, because I'm not even scared for Jey Uso's safety anymore when Roman Reigns shows up now. I'm not scared anymore. Jay's proven that he can take him down. He's pinned Roman Reigns. It's the first one to pin Roman Reigns since December 2019.
Over 3,000 days.
Yeah.
Since Roman Reigns has been pinned for a 3 count. Uno, dos, tres.
Any news to break down?
We already, Elton Prince got hurt.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
That's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any news. Besides Shotzi's sister having cancer, it's really like a slow.
It's a slow news week.
It's just a slow. Yeah, it's not really.
Oh, this might. We can mention this because this might be news. If it happens, anyways. What's his name? Brian Pillman Jr. might be signing with WWE.
That's it too, because he was at the PC on Thursday. WWE has big interest in him. They haven't signed him yet, but he was there training at the PC. So yeah, I think he's going to be in the next crop. I think he's going to be that next signing, that next big signing. And if it does happen, if and when it does happen, that I think his career is going to take off.
Finally, yeah.
I think AEW dropped the ball with him big time. He came in obviously with a lot of hype, being the son of Brian Pillman, absolute legend of the business. But they dropped the ball big time with BPJ, and I think he goes to WWE. They're going to treat him so much better.
Yeah,
he needs to be a champion. He needs to be, whether it be tag, whether it be singles, it doesn't matter. He needs to be a fucking champion. And I think the best way to fucking do it, too, would be to have Steve Austin come out and give him that rub.
Yeah,
give
definitely.
Him seal of approval, because as it's long been known, Steve Austin was a very close friend of Brian Pillman. And Steve Austin has known little Brian since he was a tiny little kid. And they hooked up. They linked up recently over the last year or so, because Austin had a piece of merchandise that he wanted from Brian Pillman Sr. that he wanted to give to his son. So it was I think it was like a Varsity Blondes thing or something. I forget what it was. But it meant so much to Brian Pillman. He gave that to Steve, and now Steve gave it to little Brian. So they linked up recently for that, and that was really cool. I think it was like a year ago, year and a half ago. But yeah, I would be fucking pumped to see him in WWE.
Yeah, I would be really pumped. I think he should show up to WWE. I can't believe AEW dropped the ball this badly. Like, it's just...
He has so much talent. He has so much fucking potential. He's almost 30 years old now. He should be in the prime of his career.
Yeah, like, I can't believe AEW
I think now's the time.
Yeah. I can't believe AEW had him and didn't do anything with him. Like, he never had him at, like... The best thing he did probably was that week where he was that brief time he had that feud with MJF. That's probably the best thing he ever did in AEW. And it wasn't even that long. He didn't really do anything in that feud. I don't think he cuts a promo in that feud either. Like, he's just there. Like,
it just goes to show you how badly they dropped the ball. And if and when he goes to the WWE, and I would immediately put him on the main roster.
Yeah, I would too. He's ready for the main roster. I think he knows. Because too, I'd be worried about Shawn Michaels booking him in NXT too. Like,
yeah, I would be too. But he's big time if he goes to WWE like immediately. Of course, he has that relationship with Cody, so he can maybe do something with Cody.
Yeah.
Team up, whatever. Cody gets beaten down maybe by Brock, and Brian makes a save for him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So I wouldn't do a feud right now between Cody and Brian Pillman Jr.
I wouldn't do that either, but just to get him like that pop, like
Yeah.
that. Like, holy shit, he's here type of pop.
And if Brian Pillman Jr. does well in WWE, I think a lot of that talent that Cody brought in, like Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson and all that type of stuff, I think will end up in. Because if you notice, ever since Cody's left AEW, all that talent that was not showcased anymore, really. So
where the fuck is Brock Anderson? Like, where is he?
You might see Arn Anderson back in WWE, like in a behind the scenes role again too.
Yeah, you could see that. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. Cody's exit of AEW was a domino effect. All that talent Cody brought in.
It hasn't happened yet, but I could see it happening.
What?
The domino effect of that, of Cody leaving. I don't think we've seen it yet because they're still locked into contracts. But within the next year or two, I think you'll see a big influx of the talent that Cody brought in, like Lee and Brock, Ricky Starks, QT Marshall. Like, I think you can see all. I think you're going to see it like Powerhouse Hobbs. I think you're going to see it in like a mass exodus. I think Powerhouse Hobbs would be a massive, massive get for WWE.
Yeah.
If they can
use,
I think, and I don't want to say this, but you can put him in but I will. But sort of like that Big E role.
Yeah.
Big fucking powerhouse beefcake who can come in and beat the living shit out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because the only one I could see staying is probably Powerhouse Hobbs, just because he's at least used fairly well in AEW. But everybody else that we just mentioned, I think will be gone.
But I think so too. If all of his friends leave, I think that lure would be too strong for him not to want to leave.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I think Dustin's coming home soon too.
I hope so. I hope it's happening.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
I know it's gonna be soon. So, and if Dustin leaves, by the way, think about all the talent that will be gone then too. He's the one.
Oh yeah,
really...
yeah, exactly. Other people they train.
Yeah.
I can see it going because it's basically the Nightmare Factory is basically the pipeline.
Yeah.
To AEW. I think that pipeline will get redirected.
Oh yeah.
To the Performance Center.
Yep.
They get the training from QT, Cody, and Dustin, and then it goes right down to the Performance Center. They get a little bit more seasoning, and then boom, NXT main roster.
I mean, think about the talent we could see. Who really struggled when that happened? Tiffany Stratton did a struggle with
better people come in.
Yeah.
Better people.
But anyhow, yeah, that's basically I think that's it for everything. Thank you guys for watching. Why don't you plug your stuff while I do a quick phone call? Super quick.
I hope it's quick. But yeah, so this week's a action-packed week for wrestling. You got Raw on Monday, NXT on Tuesday, and Wednesday you have AEW. If it's your cup of tea, watch it. If you don't, I don't care. SmackDown, like we've covered prior. The Roman Reigns is returning again for this millionth time this year. It's on FS1. But yeah, watch it, enjoy it. Collision 2 on Saturday. And yeah, not a bad week to say the least. But mainly watch the WWE stuff. That stuff's good. That stuff's really good. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Because we covered everything. I don't know if we have anything special coming up this week on our channel, or if anything's in the can. I know we're doing a Great American Bash style review coming up soon, or anything after the 2.0 era. So be prepared to look out for that. Yeah, I did my plugs. I'm all plugged out.
All plugged out?
I almost ran out of shit to say.
Oh no. All right, so let's see what I got to plug. You can check out the stuff on this channel. The Wrestling Rundown is going to be launching. It'll probably be out by the time you see this. because these videos are going to be released the same day. That'll be awesome. We'll be covering everything that's going on in the world of wrestling. And then next week, WWE Aftershock. We'll be covering next week's stuff as well as Level Up this week since I didn't have time to watch it. And then AEW Spark. It's going to be a zero. I almost said a Zoa, but it's a 0 in Ethan. Because no one's going to get the week off since he's been holding on the fort the past couple of weeks that he's producing the rundown. So, I figured he deserves a little bit of a break, nice break. I'd rather give him the break this week versus next week because I imagine he'll want to cover Blood and Guts. So
yeah,
that makes sense. And then we have some retros coming up. James and I are going to finally sit down this week and cover NXT TakeOver London. Luckily, we can still do that because it's a show that happened in the UK and All In is in the UK. So it won't be Money in the Bank crossover anymore because Money in the Bank's been a bit. So it's going to be an All In style retro.
Hey,
and like you said,
before you go anymore, just give me a thumbs up cue when you're ready for me to go to the outro. By the way.
Oh yeah, and then like you said, the go-home week of the Great American Bash, we're going to do some type of retro that's related to the Great American Bash, whether that's an NXT special that took place on the NXT 2.0 era / now since it's the 3.0 era, or a past pay-per-view of the Great American Bash, or a TV special of the Great American Bash that's happened on TV. Have you picked that retro yet? You still need time to think about it.
I still need time to think about it, but so it's any pay-per-view in the 2.0 era, right?
Yeah, so basically...
thumbs up, am I good to go?
No.
Okay.
Podcast has concluded. Be sure to check out more group discussion as far as WWE content is concerned, and check out more content from For the Win Productions.